Guys, we can kick off right now. So first, Forward is One, episode 1 of many of the Forward is One Stream Team podcast. So I guess we'll just we'll get right into it. So basically, 12.9 state of the game right now. First item on the docket is performance and FPS. What are you guys thinking? What do you like? Comments? What do you guys think? How do you think it's going so far? Like, do you think any stutters on your end, or is it pretty stable so far for you guys?
Getting a lot of micro stutters in and out of inventory, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Frame seems solid.
I've noticed that as well.
Transitioning.
Yeah.
It's solid as hell frame rate wise, but stutters are back when players get near you.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. So between players coming in, but like the biggest one that I've noticed is the stutters in and out of inventory. And myself and one of my buddies have died because of that. Because like, oh cool, I hear somebody coming. I'm gonna get out of my inventory and I'm dead.
Stuck
No,
for
you're
like 3 seconds. You're just there like,
Yeah, yes.
one sec, guys. Okay, now I'm
good. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, the PC looting was a funny thing in the first couple of days. Where you had to loot
I'm
the
still
PC
getting
device.
that.
Twice, yeah.
I'm still getting that every now and again. It's not as often as it was, but I'm still getting it every now and again.
I find that the best way for that is like as you're searching, walk into the PC, and that way, like I've been able to kind of actually be able to loot that way.
Like get closer to the object itself.
So
yeah?
like as you press the open button, like walk into the PC.
Yeah.
See, they've got 2 PCs next to it. I'll just tap F on both and then.
Whichever one you get first, that's the one. Is that it? No one else?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, go.
I was gonna say yesterday. I was having mad issues, and then I talked to a couple of you guys, and everybody seemed to be having issues yesterday with frames and dropping. So I'm hoping these micro patches. You know, sometimes they do these little micro patches and they fix things, but then they introduce these new issues, and that's the only real problem I've had in like weeks. Yesterday was bad.
Yesterday was pretty bad for me. Like I was playing Woods, and Woods not like even with the new update, it didn't really do much like performance-wise. Like in a way, it didn't really hinder down the PC or the system. But yesterday was bad, dude. Like I was having like stutters like throughout the whole map. Like even at the last 10 minutes of the map, you know, you would think it would get better, but it didn't really get better.
Now, do we think that's because we have 230,000 people playing, or do you think it's because the micro patch, or do we think it's what do you guys
Probably the overloaded as servers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think this is the best one that
true.
I've experienced.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
no doubt.
I did have a issue earlier, guys, where I was trying to load my magazines and it was like bugging out. It was taking about 5 seconds to load each magazine.
I actually had that, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible,
and
dude.
My guys were saying they had it as well. And I was really stressed out because there was a guy pretty close by. And I was like trying to load these magazines and it was going like, imagine like a P90 magazine, but 3 times as slow.
Exactly. Yeah.
And on an AK, I was just like, what's going on here? And it actually really annoyed me. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, the game's been running all right. Like you say about the like the stutters when there's other PMCs. Like I noticed that earlier. I think it was yesterday actually. Like everything was fine, and then I was getting this like a stutter every 2 seconds or something, like on the dot, like boom, boom, and it was like really consistent.
Constant, yeah.
And this guy just peeked his head up over the grass, and I was like, oh, here we go. And then obviously died.
I just use it as an alarm now. If I start getting them, I'm like somebody's nearby. It's like old times.
Yeah, because it used to happen a lot as well, didn't it? I remember that people used to complain a lot about the game stuttering when they were near other PMCs. So,
or it was.
I mean, I use it as like an early detection.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is ridiculous and probably bullshit.
I would imagine that a lot of that stuff like the stutters and what have you, hopefully a lot of that's gonna like level out eventually as the servers decrease in load. Because we ended up having that issue yesterday. We were doing the Evasion Duo event, and halfway through, they were giving us some keys on their the official Battlestate Games Twitch page. And between everybody like going on and trying to activate the keys, they were like and then trying to get into the game as well. Like they were like DDoSing BSG servers, and it was bad. Like we were halfway through the competition, and then 2 of the 3 teams we ended up not being able to compete or finish because like we just couldn't get in, so they had to call it.
Yeah, they called it well early, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like an hour early.
It was like we had like an hour and a half left whenever everything started going sideways, and then they ended up they just called it at the 1 hour mark because it wasn't gonna happen.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I wanted it. I wanted the win. I wanted the W, but it didn't happen. It's okay.
Well, I mean, there's not really much you can do because they're throwing so much at us all at once with this patch. Like
Exactly.
the drops, the sale, the wipe, all in one.
Yeah, that's
Everyone's
definitely
coming, man.
something that people have been talking about a lot as well, with the drops and everything, like so early on in the wipe. And the New Year's gifts, the BP ammo and that 900 rounds of BP. Next 5 days, all you see is fucking
SKSs.
SKSs and AKs, man.
You've been taking those Christmas bright red AKMNs off people.
Yeah, and their night visions and shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah,
feeling,
night
man.
vision helmets.
I just sold all my.
I ended up
I just
seeing
saw
a guy
those.
running away, a Hatchy boy, so I dropped him, and then I was like, "What? This guy's like level 27." I ended up going towards New Gas, and then lo and behold, his Hatchy boy who got his gift stashed in the bush with his NVGs and his new M1 rig
yes,
and
I've
the
seen
and the
that.
new AK, and then right next to it is his. I'm like, "Thanks, bud." That was a good feeling.
Wow.
That was a good feeling. Any more comments on performance? By the way.
I have a lot of people in chat saying that they have longer loading times since the wipe.
I've noticed
So
that
that
too.
was for a
Like
purpose,
matching.
Select
for a
more servers.
That's a combination of now you can't load late into raid, so they're making everyone get in on time at the start, and obviously
Exactly.
all those extra guys playing the game. That's
Mhm.
That's all it is. All I'd say is go into your launcher, select the servers which has the shortest queuing time, pick 4 of them, job done. I'm getting raids 2-3 minutes now, easy. Apart from
Yeah.
reserve.
Yeah,
Easy
same.
fix.
Auto's the worst. If you put it on
Tell-
auto, it's gonna.
Turn off auto host, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Auto or just one server is where people run into that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pick at
Yep.
least 3 at a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys
You
think
want
about
to play
the
today? Yeah.
What do you guys think about the sound lately? I've been running into a couple sound issues between like, my either like bushes making sounds that are emanating from me, or just like not hearing grenades still and weird stuff like that. How about you guys?
I think. Go on. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, I've been getting the delays as I've run through a bush, and then like half second later you hear it, so you're spinning around looking like there's
Yeah.
someone behind me.
Mm.
But that's why I played Tarkov for 3 years. I'm used to all the sound shit that I've got now. Like all the different sound that we've gone through in them 3 years. So you just get used to it after a bit.
You do. One day we'll have enough optimization to be able to run, get the binaural or binaural, whatever you call
Binaural,
it,
yeah.
Steam audio, get that all 3 modules installed.
I
and,
need it back.
Oh man, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, dude.
I need it back.
When they brought it back in, dude, you would hear like the cultists before the cultists, pretty much.
I have yet to
Like,
encounter them.
dude.
I look forward to finding those guys.
Yeah, man, I haven't found them yet. Talk found them in customs.
They're sneaky snakes.
Yeah.
They're just laying in the grass. It's awesome.
Snake people, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yep. I've
And
been
they
telling
don't-
you guys
With their
forever.
snake jazz.
and they do not make a sound. That's what scares me the most. They do not make a sound at all.
They
Running at
also
you, you
don't-
can't even hear them.
The other thing is they're like laying in bushes, and as soon as you walk by, they're like standing up and coming towards you. Like they're playing it really sneaky.
Mm.
Mm.
But
It's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
my
I love
PMC
it.
that's trained to be quick and quiet sounds like a fucking elephant running down the road. They're
Yeah, I think-
in a bush and then you make no sound at all.
Yeah,
I think
I
there's
want to
definitely. Go ahead, Gunvash.
I just want a PMC that's trained by the cultists. That way I can be sneaky.
Yeah, dude.
51 melee. I hope you can get their poison or something. That'd be sick. But I was gonna say, in terms of the sound, I think a lot of it has to do also. I mean, the sound sucks. Vertical, especially, we know.
Oh man.
We're used to Steam, it's gone. But also, you got to consider too. A lot of us have level 5 perception now when we had elite. So it's like that in terms too, is like you're not hearing as far. So you're picking up people. And a lot of times too, we're not using headsets this early in the wipe. Sometimes you just don't have the capabilities to run them. And so I think that's also adding to the what the fuck's happening with the sound, kind of feeling.
Perception is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Perception is definitely a big part of it. Like you've gone, I think max perception, or at least high level perception, is like 30. It's like 30+% further.
35.
Is it 35?
Yeah.
So 35% further hearing distance. Like it's ridiculous, man.
So yeah, Kippen and I were talking about it the other day, and he thinks that we should have perception like the base a little higher, like start at like 10% closer, and then go out another 35. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to be
75%
footsteps.
further.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be footsteps, but like gunshots and grenades should be much more like you should be able to pin down exactly, diagonally where they are at.
I mean, I know that it's obviously an RPG and all that stuff, but I think just thinking about it from a player perspective, I kind of feel like everybody should just be able to hear the same.
I agree.
I agree.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's some things that you should be able to level up. Like you should get a bit stronger so you can carry more. You should be able to do different things faster and more efficiently. But like hearing, if anything, being in this position, like being in the situations that Tarkov puts us in, if anything, your hearing will get worse over time because.
Bro,
So
you
start at 50
muscles?
and you go down.
You have tinnitus for 5 raids.
Exactly.
You didn't work out your ears. You can't hear better.
Yeah,
No, I agree, Dan. 100%. Yeah,
I agree.
It's one of those
some
things.
things be good. Games are RPG as well, and the elements of science is the elements of RPG in the game itself. But why are you ranking up hearing? That's just it does seem a bit silly. I think remove that.
I want
Keep up things in the game, be fine.
consumables, Q-tips. Done.
Oh, you didn't use a Q-tip before the raid? That's a minus 10%
We
to
have an
hearing.
animation chart. He like pulls it out and licks it.
Solved.
Licks it before or after going in the ear.
Both, yeah.
Both.
Plus 5 energy.
There you go. Minus 10 hydration.
Oh wow.
It's the wax. That's why. Come on.
Very nice.
Oh shit.
We kind of already talked on desync and stutters, unless anyone else wants to make another comment about that. But if not, I think a really good point for us to discuss is early game versus late game Tarkov.
What early game?
In regards to performance, do you
over.
mean? Stay in the game?
Not so much the state of the game, but just like, for example, once you get to late game, you have all the containers. You have a Bitcoin farm that's like literally feeding you like almost $1 million in rubles every day. Whereas early game, there's no storage, there's no supplemental income. It's scav and PMC raid and try not to be as action oriented as you would in the end game. And what are your thoughts on that?
I certainly enjoy early game better, so I'm playing it. I played Daisy recently quite a bit. I'm playing Torkie now, like Daisy. I'm trying to survive more. I'm trying to play a bit more cautiously, and the reason behind that, I haven't got the good enough ammo to kill people straight away or pen their armor, so I'm playing a bit more slower. Late game, it turns into Call of Duty in many situations. Unless you force yourself to play a certain way in the game. That's my.
I ran
my
into a
thoughts on it.
dude running a GL40. He fired 40 rounds during the raid.
Oh
Tonight.
wow.
Jeez.
Nice.
Tonight, he was shooting scavs with the GL40. 40
Wow.
rounds he fired at least.
Well, the rounds like 5-10K on the flea market. They're down
Yeah,
about
that's
100K.
true.
They're super cheap,
Mhm.
really cheap.
And I was looking at the leaderboard today as well. There's already people that are like level 50 already. And we got 5 days into
Yeah.
wipe.
You told me about that, Graham. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why Dan asked, what early game?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
man.
True, yeah.
I really love early wipe, like Prophet was saying. And, even early wipe is like before you get Kappa to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that long stretch. It's like 75 days. Then you get it. Most quests are done. But then the other 160 days after that, I think they just need to shorten the wipes just a little bit. Because I do enjoy like the late game, like labs,
Yeah.
reserve. You're going fully kitted. You're playing hard. You have 100 mils, so it doesn't matter if you die 20 times in a row. But you can only do that for like 3 months. Then it's like the 4th month, you're like, holy shit, please give me a wipe.
Wipe, yeah.
The problem we got though is that the key was they're testing the mechanics of the game each time. Each wipe, new content, test the full mechanics. When the game's fully released, they're going to be slowing all down the progression to extremely slow levels. If you did it now, we wouldn't test the full game, would you? That's the problem, man. So we're seeing a really fast progression, which they're allowing us to do to test the full mechanics of the game. Because it gets boring quickly for a lot of us, unfortunately, and like people now using GL40s in after 4 days, level 50 is ludicrous. That is ludicrous.
I got a bit of a point on that, if you wouldn't mind. I definitely think that like as the game progresses, we are testing the game out early. Like it's not meant to be like this level of progression is not meant to be the way it is now. Eventually, once the game is in full release, that'll change. But I think what would be interesting, and I've seen this on the forums. I'm not the first one to think of this idea, but maybe a Diablo 3 style like seasonal character, or even Path of Exile does that as well, where you have a permanent character, doesn't get messed with. You could do co-op, you could do like regular raids, but then you have a seasonal character that gets wiped all the time, like every 6 months. And then you can maybe tie it into some prestige system where like, hey, cool, you like hit these certain achievements, you hit these certain metrics while you were, like one of them could be like, get your character to level 40, get max traders, get this, get like, and then tie it in. It's like if you do that stuff, then like next time you do it, you get a few extra, bells and whistles whenever you actually like start your next seasonal character, something like that, something to keep you going. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Well, didn't you say this in a podcast?
They mentioned it in a podcast. We're going to get that.
That'd be sick. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
From my perspective, early game versus late game, what I really enjoy at the moment is like Tarkov is a little bit more forgiving, in a sense of like you peek a guy, you don't get immediately like 2-tap to the chest because your armor actually helps you at this state of the wipe.
Yep.
Your gear is actually doing its job, as of where in late game you're peeking around the corner, no matter what body armor you have, your opponent is going to run 995, M61 or whatever high class pen armor, and you're dropping dead. And this is really something that I enjoy so much at the moment in Tarkov. Like the gunfights feel more intense. You can do more flanking. You can try to peek a position. You get shot at, but you're not immediately dead. You get the chance, like move around, try something else, and that is really what I love at the early wave.
Yeah, you have good fights, not just getting one. It's always nice to have a good fight.
Yeah.
No, I need to get on some of these raids because it's been very different for me.
I've been finding, Dan, so me and Gun played recently, Joe's, and we're on customs is ludicrous. It's like literally 5-mans, 4-mans everywhere. So early game, I think people feel the need to be in these big teams to survive and ditch the gear for insurance fraud and stuff. Later game, we get less people doing that unless they're starting off the game new. But right now, it's difficult. As if you're a new player in the game now, it's difficult because we know the game, we know the maps and the meta and everything else. That's a big advantage knowing the maps and stuff. But these new players are on big teams now, and that is normally it can be quite difficult to coordinate in a big team. But I'm finding some good players in some teams here, and that's making it very challenging to survive some of the raids. You might kill like 3, think, well, that's done now, job done. There's a 4th guy in the corner waiting, and it's like shit
every time.
Yeah, or third party. Honestly, it's really good in some ways, but it's really challenging. So,
don't fuck with Scav Boss for too long, because if you're fucking with them for a while, those people are gonna come right up on all that gunfire and those grenades, and they're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, take you from behind.
Oh yeah.
I have a question from chat. Like chat is asking, what would you guys think, since we're like early on a wipe, what would you guys think of more like play diversity in terms of color skins for your color for your skins, like bright white, brownish, black, etc. Just more diversity in terms of character model that you could.
That's happening in the future. I think that's
that'll come in the future.
Yeah.
Like your PMC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think they confirmed it. They just said they're going to do it at the end once they get the game finished. Like working.
Yeah, more character customization is key. Same thing with the whole being able to modify like plate carriers and stuff like that, like putting all the pouches where you want them and stuff. So like that's coming eventually as well.
Can't wait for
Wasn't
changing
that
out the
supposed
plates.
to already be out though? The modular vests and rigs. I thought that was supposed to already be out.
I think it's coming
Now
13.
we're getting that. We're getting. Don't
13,
we
I
get
think.
that with Street? Yeah, with Streets of Tarkov together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then you can have your like
Streets is gonna be
specific
insane, man.
loadouts. Just
I've only
like you'd
been
make a
waiting for
weapons
Street.
loadout, you'd also have a loadout for like say like an M1 rig or you know Tactec or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like pretty sick, dude.
Yeah.
Or like a whole. You go for it.
No, go. I was going to change the subject, but go for
Like-
the rig.
Like even for like a preset to pretty much get the whole character going, like with a weapon, with a armored rig, ammo, everything just packed up. Like I would love like a preset to do that. You know, just buy everything and just send it over, equipped, ready to go for your character.
Like a raid preset.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That kind of like ties into the whole video I saw Veritas put out. It's something kind of like that, where like
Yeah.
you have your like you have like a bunch of loadouts that like you prefer to run, and then just like a couple clicks, you're kitted, ready to
Done.
go, done.
Character presets rather than just weapon preset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they? I think there's some. Maybe I'm misremembering, but something like mannequins in your hideout where you can basically like your preset menu
yeah.
for your gun. You can load them out, and then you can have 3 of them or however many, and then you put it
Do they
on.
plan on having the whole thing as physical stash? I can't remember. So like if you go in your hideout, you're going to be in your hideout. You can't be like in your, loot screen or whatever. And you're going to have to actually go into boxes to get like your armor and shit. Yeah, that'll be really kind of annoying to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think you're just gonna go into your stash. Like I think right now, where you go to your traders or your stash or your hideout, you're just gonna do all that directly from the hideout, as opposed
So the
to
main menu will be in the hideout. Like you basically.
Yeah, but you're
you
basically
can-
going into your hideout, and then you have the whole menu as we have it now open,
Yeah.
where you can manage and range things.
Yeah, because you can
Yeah, like
access
just
everything from the
different
hideout, can't
ways.
you?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the
Yeah.
little buttons and tabs that
Yep.
we've got now, like hideout, like character dealers, flea market, etc. Like you can press tab and access.
I'm actually
Yeah.
not too sure. I'm actually not too sure if it works with the traders, because they mentioned in the podcast that you need to physically go to the traders in order to buy and sell stuff,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
Traders
yeah,
won't
that's. I
be-
mean, they're gonna take it out of the main menu, and then they're gonna be physically in there. Like you want to barter. You
Yeah.
gotta bring barter shit into a raid.
So
Real quick, while we're talking about presets
Yep.
and magazines too, 60 rounders. You want to stagger a tracer and a different type, or high flesh, high pen, high flesh, high pen. That would be
Yeah.
sick. It takes a long time to do 1 round or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But 15 is what we end up doing because it doesn't take as long.
Exactly. I'm asking my guys in chat to pose questions for us all in general chat in FAO Discord.
Yep.
So at the end we can ask him, not to be rude at all. And that was the plan originally, wasn't it? Otherwise Dave's probably thinking the same thing here. If we answer loads of questions, we're not going to cover our topics we've got laid out to talk about.
Yeah,
So,
that is very true.
does
so
anyone
any questions you got, guys,
Yeah.
put them in general chat in FAO Discord.
Does anyone have any other comments on like the comparison between early and late stuff? If not, like we move on to the next one.
There was something to do with insurance that I wanted to bring up earlier. Essentially, this is an idea that's been floating around, at least amongst my guys. Something to, when you say with like squads ditching each other's gear and stuff like that, like, oh, ditch my gear, bro, ditch my gear and all this. We had this idea that insurance would only work if your gear was still on your body. So like whatever insured gear was on your body when you died, if it stays on your body, then you get it back on insurance. But if someone takes it, regardless, because obviously this takes, the whole thing where squads, I mean, don't get me wrong, coordinating squads and stuff like that, it can be really, really tough. But like for the most part, running like a 5-man train through raids is like, if you got the most powerful force in the raid there, 5-man squad or whatever. So the whole insurance thing, for a lot of people, I think a lot of people think this is that it's too like easy to get your stuff back. Does that make sense? Like
Insurance fraud. Right now with the 35 kg though, Dan, lots of guys will kill someone and go, I'm ditching my gear and taking his gear. My gear's back tomorrow, win-win. So the mechanics don't work. I suppose when you have the 35 kg max and you can't ditch your gear, you won't get it back. You're going to end up having to take those as stims and become a drug addict in the game, which
exactly. So people are going to have to think more and think, shall I drop my own gear and not get it back at all? Or shall I keep my gear because it's worth more and just try and grab what I can off this or that or whatever? I mean, because I think a lot of people are frustrated by the whole insurance, like the fraud thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are frustrated about insurance fraud and, squads like ditching their mates' gear and all that sort of thing. Whilst but at the same time, BSG have always said that it's going to be the game's aimed towards groups and stuff like that, and you can play the game solo, but it is harder if you do so. So,
how do we feel about for an insurance modification? If you go like you get your insurance back or a percentage chance back, I think is what they're going to do for the main game. Like Proper gives you, I don't know, 15% on each item chance to get it back, or whatever it is. How would you feel you either have to die or extract for insurance to count? Because the biggest kind of problem I run into is you run in that 5-man, you kill 4, and the last guy will spite wait out, and then about 8 seconds before raid end, just delete all his stuff on the ground. He dies, MIA, but he gets everything back, so do all his teammates. There's no risk.
Yeah. I'm worried about this. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I think if we move away from this insurance system, I think it's going to be more gear fear type of players, more people going in with just the Mosin, and late wipe is going to disappear. Like I agree with the grenade launchers and stuff. Like it's too soon, but I don't want it to just be like Mosin man the entire game. You know what I'm saying? That's all I fight.
No,
I bring in kill gear. You know what I'm saying?
You can get it back. I'm just saying you either have to die or you got to extract. You can't purposefully ignore the point of the game, which is either, which is ostensibly to survive, get out with the loot, or die trying to do so. The third option of purposely going MIA but guaranteeing that you get your insurance back is kind of just a way to bypass all of that. And if the last guy, it may take him 15 minutes or 30 minutes if you get him early in the raid, but he's guaranteeing, every teammate's loot. That's a pretty easy calculation to do.
I mean, you gotta see it from this side. If you have that 5-man and the last guy gets you, there's an awful lot noise generated. You always have to get a scarf player, and I had it so often that I was hiding my teammates' gear, and while doing so, I actually got killed by a scarf player or by someone who was sneaking up. So you're taking, to a certain degree, you're actually taking the risk by
hanging around.
dying. Yeah. By hiding,
I'd be fine with that.
Your stuff, dude.
Yeah, if they're taking the risk and hiding it, that's different. I'm talking specifically waiting out the timer, discarding their stuff for insurance. Like,
I think that meets one of your requirements, right? You said they have to die. If they die and raid, everybody tosses their gear, then they get it back, right? So
yeah, but like they could just throw a nade at themselves.
I'm cool with that because they're taking the risk.
Oh, true.
Well,
it's just I don't really run into this situation very much, but maybe I'm one of the guys that dies first. I don't know, but I haven't.
I get that twice a night.
Like this, Sharptooth?
2 to 5 times a night, we'll have a team. It's usually TTV teams where they're playing with viewers. One of the viewers is the last one left. It's like an honor thing. He will wait sometimes 40 minutes.
Like Imperial Japanese tactics. Like,
and I'm an asshole. I'll wait. I'll wait. I waited 35 minutes the other night for the last guy to try to. I guess he decided 35 minutes was enough, and he came out to like try to get his boy's gear, and then I shot him. I waited for him to loot and shot him.
I will go 35 minutes for this gear.
He didn't have anything I wanted either. None of them did. I just didn't want him to feel good about himself after what he did. He wasted my time. I run into that a couple times a night, like 2 to 5 every. I mean, it's not so bad early wipe. mid to late wipe 2 to 5 times a night.
You play mostly interchange though, isn't it, Sharptooth? So would you?
Well, they come full kit because they're like, we're gonna stomp them. It's interchange, boys. We got Med, we got Kiba, we got Killa. Let's go. Gear up. It's Tuesday night. You know, some dumb shit, and then you kill 4 of the 5, and they go, "Oh my god, bro, that's half my money. You need to get my shit," and they'll sit there for 40 minutes. It's nuts.
Oh yeah, hell a lot. Yeah, it surprised me all the time. That sort of thing.
Prophet, your camera's gone.
Camera's gone.
It's back up for me.
Yep.
Yeah, you just gotta click it.
Oh. Yep.
No, that doesn't even surprise me. Like every time I play interchange, I mean, I don't know if some of you guys might have seen my clip from last night, but every time I play interchange, doesn't matter if I'm PMC, scav, or what, like I just get killed from somebody just sitting in a corner or like doing some.
That's me.
Shit. That's me. I wouldn't mind getting killed by you. That would be all right because at least it'd be fun, and I could say, "Hey, fuck
I know
you,"
that guy.
Yeah, but like honestly, it's just I don't know what it is about interchange, and just people sitting there, and you know, I'm fairly good at sort of listening out for people and having good awareness and listening around the map and knowing what's going on around me. But like honestly, I'm walking along, minding my own business, listening out. I don't hear anything, and it's just from the corner, just like there you go. Fucking.
I don't mind the solos.
That is mostly.
I don't mind the solos. Solos, that's what they're like. That is their advantage. That's it. They can hear better. They can be sneakier. That's it. What drives me nuts is like I don't even mind teams doing it. What I mind is when they don't ever try to extract. That's the only issue. Like if they want to wait the 40 minutes and then try to dump their boys' gear, fine. If you know they got 8 minutes to run extract or 3 minutes, whatever they think they can make it in, fine with it. I'll beat them. I don't care. I get salty because they're giving up the point of the game, which is to try to extract, to count down to the last 10 seconds of the raid, discard everything on their body, guaranteed them and their teammates get it back.
That is pretty lame, yeah. That is pretty lame.
I mean, it's just like, why bring it if you can't lose it?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about the insurance, like the way insurance would, like if you guys are seriously taking that in consideration, I think it would change. People would just, you know, nothing but Mosins, man. I'm telling you, that's all we would see. They don't care.
They get bored.
I mean, I think that's the problem with the Mosin, I think, than the mechanic. Like, the game shouldn't be centered around one gun. Like the Mosin is incredibly powerful, but like, I mean, we've already seen the price almost triple, right?
Double, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like BSG know that the Mosin is too good. Like they know that it's too good. Like why would you ever bring a bolt action? Do you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us here, most of us have handled weapons and stuff like that. Like if you said to me, do you want to take to this situation a fucking shitty old Mosin, which don't get me wrong is a great weapon, but is fucking 100 years old and you know misfires and shit and is just a pain in the ass, or do you want to use this nice little, you know, like MP5 or something else? I'll go for the MP5, you know, or the AK or whatever, because you know.
Has anyone here died by a Mosin this wipe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I don't even know if I've been shot at by a Mosin.
They're more rare now.
I'm not gonna lie. They're very rare.
I got an idea. So especially whenever it comes to like bringing a bolt action or something like that in there, we've been playing Hell Let Loose. We need a suppression system in this game. So you're not like taking shots of M995 and you're just like, yeah, no, I'm done. Doop. You know, like no. Like, oh my god, I'm getting a heavy volley of fire of my head. I'm not gonna get up, you know, or even if I do, you're gonna be all messed up. Like if they introduce that could help.
There was something
guys.
I
swear. No, this is planned. They're gonna have jams, and in the form of bolt actions, especially older weapons like the Mosin. I don't know if you've handled them there. You can buy them here for like $40. I can go get like 8.
100 Canadian rubles gets you one.
You know, to be fair,
it's nothing. But the bolts are hard as shit to work if you don't really maintain and clean that thing regular, and that's
be slower
a
to
planned
reload.
mechanic. That's the bolt action. Well, you'll be stuck there fucking with the bolt for a little while, you know, instead of a jam that you have to clear. It's your bolt will be all fucky.
To be fair, whenever they do add in jams, and this is kind of like a tangent, but when they add in jams, the AK is probably going to be king. Because I don't know if you guys have ever seen AKs and what they can go through and still fire, but it's a lot. It is a lot. Like you can throw it in sand, under mud, doesn't matter. You pick that shit up, you start shooting it again. Like it is
You can
insane.
pack the barrel with mud.
Exactly.
A lot of guns are moving that way,
shit.
though. Like the
Well, M4s are
MCX,
still
right,
not.
was
M4s
just
are
added
still
to the MCX was just added to the game, right? They have the same testing that the AKs. They run it over with a car. They fill it with mud.
6 hour ones, eh?
The SIG MCX.
Yeah,
so,
6
but I don't know about the
Yep.
M4 or the HK. Like I don't know.
Swiss
How
brand, ladies and gentlemen. It's all
Swiss,
about Swiss
baby.
brand.
SIG, yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
HK
SIG's
too.
good,
Pat.
man. Oh my
HK
God.
is great. You gotta say, HK is great.
HK gamer confirmed. So what do you guys think about the introduction of the early test servers?
Was saying before, I think even though I'm not part of myself, I'm not sure what goes on in there particularly. This is the first wipe which has been the most stable I've seen. Like it has, if that's the reason why, it's had a massive impact on the release of the wipe. It's been stacked, really busy. Everyone's playing it. Everyone's off work with Christmas and coronavirus being around, so it should have been the worst wipe yet. But actually, it's been what I've seen really stable, mostly considering what it could have been like in history.
It's the best one we've had.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the best one we've had with the most
Agreed.
people we've ever had.
Yeah, 230. This is exactly.
I mean, yesterday or at the start of the drops, we had 200,000 players playing simultaneously.
That's crazy, isn't it? When you think about it.
100,000, yeah.
There used to be about
It's a
200.
A lot of nerves.
It's as many people as those that was in Pastili's chat. Every single one of them was playing the game. Spamming exclamation mark drops, thinking it's actually gonna do something.
Gotta look at it this way, though. Like back in 10.5, for instance, we had 30,000, 40,000 current players. You had to alt F4 after every single raid, and now 200,000 plus people, and it's working perfectly fine for us.
Yeah.
So it's come a long way than what it used to.
Absolutely, the game
And by
feels
far
its
the
most stable right now.
Yeah.
I remember whenever it used to be a roll of the dice where it's like you get into a firefight with a PMC, you both desync and stutter at the same time. The sound keeps clipping over and over and over again, and whoever came out on the other side, roll the dice, RNG. Okay, it's you this time. You won. You won that fight.
Yeah,
There's still
whoever
some
has
RNG and CQB right now. I don't know if it's with desync or whatnot, but I definitely feel sometimes that you definitely got that first shot off. You definitely hit him in the head, but you're the dead one. Or trades.
I've got absolutely no confidence in Tarkov at the moment. Like I was saying this today. I've been saying this for the last 2 days. I've been playing the game for pretty much 5,000 hours. I've got 5,000 hours in this game, right? I've been playing it for 3 years, pretty much solid, most of which has been full time. Like, I feel that, like, I feel like a new player. Like, I feel like I have in a lot of cases, I have the like the mechanical skill of a new player, which is, I'm not saying that new players are bad or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel, judging by my performance or perceived performance in fights, I genuinely feel like I am terrible at Tarkov because of how a lot of the fights have been going for the last couple of days. Yeah.
I think
Isn't it always like that for the first week or two, though?
Yeah.
I was right off the first 2 weeks for
Yeah.
PvP. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, and I don't want to like be that guy, but you gotta consider the sale. And I'm not saying everybody that kills you is a hacker, but like there's just
Only me. Everyone who kills me is 100%.
Everyone's
onto that.
sometimes, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. Like, I say this to my guys, like, it feels like at times there's a switch that's flipped, and I posted this on social media as well. Like, I went through a period of like 3 weeks where everybody knew where I was. It felt like everybody knew where I was, and then I woke up another day. Everything's, I'm doing everything exact same servers, same play style, same everything. I stay as consistent as I can, and then all of a sudden, boom, we had this like a stability update that everyone had to download. And after that update, there was like a specific time. I could probably timestamp it for you. After that update, like everybody's it was almost like everybody didn't know where you were anymore. Now, I don't want to say everybody's using this, that, or the other, but you know what it's like? It's almost as if something happens and then, you know, there's an update again, right? and then you just end up getting good again. And you're flanking people and it works. And people aren't just like, you know, you go for a flank and they're not just like standing there like, hello, like looking straight at you. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know what it is, man, but it just feels so off sometimes.
Yeah, BSG also said most of these technical updates are not them, it's Battle.ai. So that's probably why after like the technical update, it feels so much better.
Oh, really?
Maybe it has. Yeah, it might have something to do with it for sure. I don't know what it is, man, but I can almost like basically timestamp it and say, hey guys, this is when something was updated and now the game feels different. I don't know, man. It's just anecdotal evidence, but yeah, I think a lot of people sort of understand it, especially people that play Tarkov all day, every day, and they can feel what's happening, you know?
So, yeah, like, so I equate it to my counters to date myself. The old school Counter-Strike days. It's like whenever you have that game sense, whenever like you're on, like your headshots are good, you know where guys are coming from, everything feels good. But then whenever you're off, when you're having a bad day, you're having a bad day. Like you're losing. Oh, yeah. It's just rough. So
it keeps on rolling.
Yeah, and it's like it's just everything just gets perpetually worse. So I understand exactly where you're coming from, but every now and then you just got to press your own reset button, take a bit of a break, and then get back after it. Speaking of getting after it, what do you got? So I have a bit of a story, but like, what do you guys think about the sudden wipe, like no pre-wipe event, just like tomorrow's wipe versus a week plus of a pre-wipe events? I personally feel
for all the gear for people that didn't run gear, like I want to use my stuff. Like who cares, bro?
I think the sudden wipe is the way to go from now on. I don't think you need pre-wipe events anymore.
Streamer wipe.
I took the day off.
Streamer, what's the wipe?
Dude, it's crazy.
And then they give you the wipe, and they're like, "What?
Why wipe? Why wipe, dude? It's crazy, man."
I rolled 30 at work,
I didn't get to use my gear.
I got 90 million rubles. How can I spend it all in 24 hours?
And you know they just ran a Mosin the whole wipe data.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I just hit level 10. They're gonna wipe it. Well, guess what? You're gonna get level 10 again. I promise.
So with that 24 hour,
I absolutely loved it, dude.
Yes,
I absolutely loved it. Prices on the flea market were skyrocketing. Slicks were going for 20 freaking million, dude.
What are they?
I loved it. Slicks were at 20 freaking million. You had to pay insane amounts of money for stuff, dude. Please, it should stay like this. This is amazing, man, because it punishes all these guys who are just hoarding their gear, always going in with a Mosin, never take action. Because like I play the game always with gear because I feel it's the right way the game is supposed to be played. Furthermore, if I'm getting killed by a guy who does a smart play, or who just outplays me, or gets that lucky shot, he gets a reward for going to the PvP, for getting that gear. And this is, in my opinion, how this game should be played. So please keep this up, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep the wipes like that, but don't do them on Christmas Eve for all of us that have kids. So just don't do it on Christmas Eve for all of us that have kids.
I think we all remember. The what? Pre-wipe event. It's actually the pre-wipe event going to be like almost 4 weeks. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That was when I backed away and I played Witcher.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I remember that. I remember popping in your screen when you're playing The Witcher.
Because when you know it's coming, it gives you like even having 1 day of wipe or whatever it was. I got a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of bored of this already. Like, it's kind of fun just rushing in with everything you have. But after a second, it's like,
I rated you, Gunvash, and every dude you killed, you're like, oh, T7s. Oh, freak.
Every guy with thermals and
stupid. It just goes to show how much money people have and how easy it is over that massive long period of time to make money. Like if that doesn't say something about the game, and I know everything's accelerated, I know we progress faster, we make money faster, etc. But like if that, like BSG needs to look at that, and I'm sure they got all the data, they know exactly how much money everybody has and how much is in the economy, etc. But like they need to look at that and be like, this needs to change.
Well, we have the one and only Tarkov billionaire in here, right?
Yeah.
I had
No,
it
no, no,
both.
no, no.
Yeah,
The last wipe and this wipe.
One
Last
thing
two
is,
wipes.
as long as there are streamer there, and there's a clip of the guy who's actually doing it, as long as there are streamer out there who discard 1 billion rubles, there's something wrong with the economics. There's definitely something wrong with the economics in the game, dude.
So I definitely think that the sudden wipe is a point to keep doing from now on. Let's sustain that. But as happy as I am that like we don't have any super long pre-wipe
Maybe
events,
2 days.
Yeah, at most. But I will say I kind of lost motivation to get Kappa halfway through this cycle, and then I picked it back up again. And I'm literally like, yeah, I got some time off from work. I can really buckle down. I got 3 tasks left, and it's like, oh, yeah, tomorrow, game is wiped. So like, you're close.
Will we?
You're close to Kappa. Do it again.
It's
like, no!
Restart, bitch.
I'm like, it's not fair. That was time now.
Did you get it though, Data?
No.
Or were you like,
No.
It was like 2 tasks off it.
It was 3 tasks and the Sacri LT. I didn't have a Sacri LT.
oh shit.
I was trying to
I had
find
a guy in my chat who got his kappa 6 hours before
Good
the
for
wipe.
him. Hell yeah. Better man than me.
He beat the game.
Beat the game. Oh.
I have never got Kappa in a game.
I haven't either.
Haven't tried.
Maybe
ever.
this
Ever.
time you'll do it.
2 or 3
I don't target it. I find the late. This is off topic here. I find the late missions just I don't like doing them particularly. So I don't need a Kappa. I have a Gam container that's pretty decent. So job done. I play for the PP late game normally rather than looting stuff and getting this item case. So yeah.
Well, I think once they add the story quest in, it'll be worth doing.
Yeah.
Like right now we're doing the side quests, right? You know, these are like the completionist quests to get that 100%. These aren't like the interesting quests we're gonna get hopefully soon.
They're not.
A lot of
That
them
will be
are
worth
too.
the effort.
A lot of
That'll
the
be worth the effort.
You know, they put a lot into these, but I kind of wish, it's especially for that, because they've already confirmed that they're going to do the what Data was talking about, right? The wiped character that they're going to wipe every once in a while. I really wish that in that they also have randomized quests of some kind to kind of keep it every kind of wipe. You kind of have a different quest cycle, and you're not doing the same quest over and over and over again.
I think that might be harder to sell, but like I definitely think like maybe even like a dailies or weeklies or something like that. That could be a thing once you get to like max level, because like once you get to max level, aside from like what Prophet just said, like go chasing down thick boys and doing PvP, like there's not that much to do. So even just doing like a weekly or daily task, that'd be pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're confirmed, isn't it? Weeklies and that.
Yeah.
Weeklies, dailies, monthlies. That'd be really cool. I'd love to see more community events as well. Like, you know, I don't know if you ever played games like Defiance or there's some other games as well, but it was like kill as a community, as a, you know, or as a whatever, kill 10,000 scabs or
Like
100,000 scabs
as well.
Do you know? Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. You know,
As USEX, as bears, right?
Yeah,
Actually
exactly.
make
If
it
you're
like-
a USEC or a bear, yeah, exactly. Make it against each other like a competition.
Yeah.
Like as USECs, kill as many scabs as you can, and then like at the end of that event, like that month, week, whatever, just give the winning players, I don't know, a bit of cash or like a gun or something, or a cosmetic or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just something to say like, hey, we participated. Like maybe just an armband with like a scav skull and crossbones. I don't know.
I mean, they
just
do
something silly.
giveaways where they give away Kiba keys. So what's the difference between doing something where they give away something actually legit, right?
Thick items cases.
Oh,
Yeah, cases and shit. I don't know. I'd like to see more people working together with a lot of things, man. Like a lot of people are getting frustrated with scav kill on site stuff as well. Like we've got it in the chat at the moment. People killing on site all the time. Like there's no incentive to team up. There's no incentive to like
nothing.
It's really frustrating. Like if you watch the first trailer of Tarkov, that was like 2015 or 16 or whatever. Like the first trailer shows a bear and a USEC, and they're like pointing their guns at each other, and they're like, "Wait a minute! If we work together, if we, you know, we could get out of here. Like we could get out of it. Like we saw it in episode 4 of Raid series as well.
Mhm.
The USEC and the bear, they're like pointing their weapons at each other, and they're like, we might actually have a better chance at surviving if we work together here.
And Dan, that might come more often when VoIP comes. I mean, you might be like, hey, man, dude, I have a fucking Bitcoin. I'll drop it. Don't be a dick, and you guys, team up.
You know what you can do? You can maybe have. I think that this is how we can promote that type of gameplay. Is that you have within the Tarkov zone a USEC and a bear commander. So whenever you go into a raid and you like find another bear or USEC that isn't a part of your squad, and you find them, instead of shooting them on sight, be like, let's work together, head to extract, and then you guys extract together. Then the USEC commander goes to the bear, is like, hey, thanks for taking care of my boys. Here's a Bitcoin. The bear goes, hey, thanks for taking care of my guy. Here's AK. Why not? That'd be cool. That'd be a cool way.
VoIPing game,
pretty much.
Yeah.
That makes a cool way to get people engaged and not just kill on sight.
They kind of already have that mechanic, right? With the scav extracts and PMCs. Like, what's the difference? Just a non-party member. If you extract with a non-party member, you get something from one of the traders who are like looking out for their guys.
But it's never going to happen. And Gunvash won. I scabbed him with Gunvash. I died as a PMC with him. I came back in the same raid. I was like, bro, I'm in the same raid as you. Cool. Let's try extraction. You get free shit from that one in reserve. But without VoIP in game, it's not going to happen.
Impossible,
so you need to have local area VoIP and also have secure comms, like a handset radio. Go, dude, bro, friendly PMC, whatever. Team up, turn to channel 231, secure comms. You'd have secure comms in game there and then, like in Armor and stuff, like in DayZ could be. That's what I think is planned. But that enable them to work together as teams and actually find those random link ups in game.
Yeah, that'd be pretty slick. And yeah, like maybe you have like an emergency channel where like you do those types of broadcasts. But obviously, I like my biggest concern with that is that like even if it's like the USEC commanders or bear commanders like trying to like give kickbacks to guys that take care of their dudes, I just worry that that's gonna be abused as well, But like I definitely think that it would hopefully promote some form of like cohesion and gameplay amongst all factions.
I would love to have VoIP in the game as long as you have the option to disable it.
Yeah,
that would be needed.
It's in there already. If you go to sound, it's mute other players is already available, ready to go. They just haven't implemented VoIP.
You want a quick key. So you're gonna have like a bass going like and racist words being thrown at you as it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like you're in Dawn and you hear fucking Darude Sandstorm coming up the metal stairs.
The last thing you want is a DMC. Last thing you want is a DMC strike because some guy's running at you playing Smash Mouth.
It's gonna be Rasputin, dude.
Yeah, it'll be good times.
Jeez.
We've kind of talked about micro patches, and we're kind of like tying it into the whole battle life thing. So unless you got something to talk about that, what I really want to talk about is the new Woods expansion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, dude,
I love it, man.
I got lost, and I loved every minute of it. And I stepped into a I stepped into a friggin' minefield. Like I was nothing but a torso and a head, but I still made it. I patched myself up. I got out of there, and I was like, "This is awesome. I have no idea what I'm doing, and this is great." And that's that feeling of not knowing what the hell's going on. We need that more in Tarkov. Like that's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I started to get used to it now, but when it spawned me in there, it was like, where the fuck am I?
Yeah, it's such a great feeling, man. Like I was playing with Pep on Tuesday night, I think, and we were both in the expansion, and we were using the map and compass. Like we got a little map that I've been working on, and we had the compasses out and stuff. And we was literally saying, like, this is how open world Tarkov would feel. Like imagine having a look on your map and then looking at your compass and then going, right, I want to go over to this part now. And you're walking along and you're not quite, going the right way, and then you see like a landmark, like a body of water or like a pylon or something, and then you orientate yourself with that, and you're like, oh yeah, and then you walk a little bit more, and you finally find like, okay, I can see the buildings now of the town, like I've made it to the town. Like that was the best feeling. I absolutely love that about the Woods expansion, like the whole navigating through it, and it's just it's so cool. Like I would love more of that. It's so cool.
I had
it wasn't needed, that map.
it also opens up so it's not just like a 3-lane choke point.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not
Clear
like
shit
you don't...
themselves whenever they hit the USEC camp mines. Yeah, I definitely did.
That was me.
Yeah,
That song was died.
It feels like a first take on the like open world idea. You know, everything's like a vast horizon. But before it was like all walls and stuff, and everything was barricaded pretty much. Now it's all open. You know, what keeps you from stopping is pretty much snipers and mines. You know, so I think it's like the first step at going like, you know, open world Tarkov. And also with the cultists, it feels like this sudden event that happens during the night. You know, it's like they probably might add more like you know, just events that happen during like certain you know, maps. It's pretty good, man. I like those like sudden events.
I'm glad they made the mountaintop for everyone to go onto, because I don't care what anyone says. You guys probably the same story as me. If you were a mountain dweller pre-wipe, in my mind, you were not playing fairly, because that was not a legit way to go out there at all. Categorically not. And Clean was on stream with Takita. Yes, that's fine. Go up there, because he intended to allow it on this pot and this wipe. Now it's legitimate. It's fine. It's everyone's fair. It's a route. You can go up there. It's really cool. So you can go there now. In other locations, it's a really sound change to the map. It's a level playing field now. Before, you had guys up there sniping, and like I didn't know you could go up there until recently. I was like, fucking hell, let's go up there. But there's new guys playing the game were getting clapped by snipers, and they didn't think you can get up there historically. But now it's really good. The actual verticality is fantastic now on the map. Really impressive.
It's the methods to get in these places as well. It's like, well, it's fair to get up there because everyone can do it. But what you need to do is do a side step to the right, 2 steps, and you need to like 65-degree walk up this little bit, and then you can turn. And as long as you use this stim at this particular, it's just bullshit. Like now people can actually fucking get up there. Like how you think snipers wakes up in the morning and he's like, okay, I go to the rock, and he's like, now I jump, and now he doesn't fucking do that, does he? He just walks up there and he chills up there with his little like camp bed, whatever he's got now, little roll bed thing.
Like, I was using rope over there. So, he just climbed up the rope. That's why.
Pulls it up and stashes it away so no one else can use it. But
so that's why when he take that extraction, like he'd just be like, hey. He's like, see you later, I'm just getting out of here.
He has a paracord and a fucking RR.
Yeah. Has that extraction, is that still in the game?
I believe it still is.
Yeah.
There's an actual physical rope there now, but I think you still need the Red Rebel.
In the middle of the map?
Because it doesn't matter. So it doesn't make sense, does it?
Scav extract is there to leave that rope is there. As a PM7 haven't tried it yet.
But it is very risky because if you make noise, like, and you're up there, you could literally look right down and waste the guys that are trying to extract. Or one fog and they're done.
So I was going to say that because that doesn't make sense, does it, being able to extract in the middle of the map?
Not now, no.
Yeah.
Vehicles,
bunkers, maybe.
But bunkers. But that's with the whole like underground.
Customs has that too, though, with the machine gun nest. You know, like they're making that kind of a thing. If you think about Shoreline, the passage by the rocks is kind of in the center of the map as well. You know, there's a couple instances.
Passage by the rock extracts to resort, or not resort, reserve, right?
Yeah, I don't mean like the center of the map as in like focus wise, but more about like the boundary. Like rock passage is on the edge of the map, isn't it? Like it's on the perimeter, isn't it? Like it's not like obviously
like the northernmost central.
Yeah,
central north.
Like, if you can still extract in the actual middle of the map, that makes no sense. Like you can just sort of go into the middle of the map and then disappear, is what I was sort of getting at with that.
I get your point with that, definitely, because right now that mountain is bang center of the map. You go all around it now, it's kind of like, how do you extract that?
Yeah.
Maps, it makes sense, rock passage, because that's the perimeter of that particular map. So going to a new part of Tarkov, not actually escaping Tarkov at all, you're still going out of raids and surviving that particular raid.
You still need a paracord, you still need a Red Rebel, you still need a tactic, right? Like you can't.
Yeah, I haven't tried myself, but
for interchange, you need the card to do the kill a swipe, door swipe, you know, so it's kind of the same to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just the location, like, because you can imagine chasing somebody to the middle of the map and then
they probably change.
Yeah, but you've also, I think, as well in like the pictures, not a lot. The concepts are streets with the helicopters. So
fucking helicopters, man. They've been saying for years, Tarkov is a no-fly zone. There is no air things. Why don't they just fly you out then If it streaks as a fucking,
It's Russia.
Because it costs because it costs 500 cans of condensed milk, Dan, and there's not that much condensed milk in Tarkov land.
Got Bitcoin farms, man. We can fly.
Condensed milk makes the pilots fly, not Bitcoin. Okay.
Makes them.
Gives them motivation.
that actually would be a great way for an extract. Like imagine you having that car that you could use, and you would have to bring fuel in to make the darn thing run, and then you actually could extract with it.
That would be quite cool.
Just take an RPG and shoot out of fucking sky and take all the loot.
You know what you do? It doesn't end up being an extract. It ends up being a division style, like just your loot, and that's it, and you get out.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
I didn't even think about that.
Because a helicopter just hanging out there for like on Street to Tarkov for like what? However many goddamn minutes it would take to get you to get in there.
It could be like the train on reserve though. It comes at a certain time every time. You know, near the end of the raid, and you got to make the drop zone or something. You know what I'm saying?
My problem with the helicopter is
seconds. You know,
if you can
two
fly,
teams running the helicopter at the same time. Fuck! You know, you're like fighting it out.
Yeah.
This just a quick thought on this one. I don't want to talk over anybody, but you know what you need to do for that? You need to make the helicopter able to be exploded, meaning that if someone's trying to extract and they're getting in the bird, GL40,
Falcon,
dead. Everyone's
you
dead.
got a team of 5 on it.
Crash
and
the whole server.
Yeah. Everyone get on the dushkas and start shooting the crap out of that thing.
I don't know, man. Like aircraft in Tarkov, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like if you can get a helicopter extract, you should just be able to escape from Tarkov. Then really, just fly out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Agreed.
Makes sense. Win.
I think you guys are making
installs automatically.
Yeah, just uninstalls the game. Congratulations.
Yeah. If you want to play again, you need to buy another copy of VOD.
Yeah, pre-order. Send it to the pre-order.
DLCs.
Reset your account.
Can you imagine that? Thank you for playing.
Nikita, we have very reasonable rates for our brilliant ideas.
I don't know, man. I think it's an interesting concept. I love the idea. I mean, we've heard about hot drops before. So like, you know, like Dorms VX and stuff like that. And obviously where the vehicles are around the maps. Like, I think Nikita even said something about like manholes and the sewer system and underground. Like you can stash some of your stuff at certain places around the map to then send it back to your hideout. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that'd be really cool if there were places around the maps where you could say, oh, I've got this. You know, and honestly, this takes me back to one of my final raids of today. I was on Shoreline, finally found the gas analyzer that I needed for like 4 days, and I got extract camped with it, and I honestly nearly threw my PC out the window. But anyway, it would have been really nice to have gone like, okay, I've got this really important thing for my task. It would have been nice to be able to like use a hot drop or something to just get that one
like insurance, right?
Get it out there.
So it like maybe it'll be one of the traders, instead of an insurance, they have a hot drop and they tell you where it's at. And if you get to the hot drop, maybe it's randomized or something. That way it's not the easy thing to do. You put it in the hot drop, and if it stays there, then you get it. If someone finds it, they find it.
Even if it's only something that holds task items, I don't want to go in and like get 17 lead X's or fucking whatever from resort and then go to my little hidey hole and stash it all. I don't care about that. But having like a task item or something that's halting your progression through the tasks, it would be nice. It would be a quality of life thing. To just.
You couldn't make it the way, like, you already can pay scavs to, like, go out there, bring you some stuff and scraps back. Like, you could pay scavs in advance that you, if you're going to a certain spot where you want to drop your loot, that they carry that out for you. I mean, would be easy doable.
Oh, yeah.
There is a mechanic they discussed in the past where to buy things from Prapor, you have to go to customs and find Prapor in customs. Say, hey, Prapor, what's up, dude? I want to buy some shit, please, buddy. That shit then will get put to your stash. They discussed that in the past. They haven't mentioned it recently as far as I recall, but it's going to become a very different game. You have to go to certain maps, buy stuff to meet each trader.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get camped. Fuck.
So talking about these hot drops.
Something like that, we're going to have more strength limits and a little bit faster movement speed. You know, I don't think the way things are is going to work very well. No one is going to survive running all the way.
I think it gets sent back to your stash. I don't think you have to carry it out.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
So to touch back on the hot drops thing, like ditching your gear and like and stuff like that. What I think, like to touch back on what Dan was saying about insurance, like it needs to be on your body, or else like you don't get the insurance back. Another way to tie into that is with hot drops. Everyone takes a marker in. You take their kit, put it in their bag, dump it in a bush, turn the marker on, tell Proper where you turned it on. That's how he gets it. That's how you do the insurance fraud.
That would be cool.
And then someone can hear the marker going off.
Beep, beep.
Yeah.
Beep, beep.
And markers will get a use outside of quests.
Outside of quests.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
I like that.
That's a good idea. I like that.
You're welcome, Nikita.
We'll make our own game. We'll make our own game.
Make our own game. Just completely not a rip-off of Escape from Tarkov.
Escape from Barkov.
Escape from the
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like the hot rod was called Red Gull instead of Red Bull.
Red Gull, yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Easy. Yeah, I like the idea of markers being used to like mark things for like pickup or something like that. Like, hey, maybe to stop people ditching their own gear, maybe only have it work on things that are found in raid. So let's say, for example, you take a marker with you, you could, and like a little backpack or like a sling or something, you could then mark your backpack, mark your sling, and say, hey, in this backpack, there's a little gas analyzer or something, and if you get it back within the hour or an hour or two or whatever, I don't know. I think it would be cool because there's nothing more frustrating, and this is a problem with the extract system anyway, but there's nothing more frustrating than spending 30-40 minutes plus, and then at the end, like you spent all that time, you've killed everybody you've met, or you've evaded them, you've outsmarted them, outthought them, and then you get to the end and there's just a guy like in a bush fucking or it's just the worst thing in the world. And a lot of people say, well, you should clear your extracts and always watch your corners, but extract campers have the utmost like 100% advantage, and we speak about this a lot. I think we've spoken about this on different chats that we've had. They already have a sight line. They already have the perfect line of sight. They're comfortable. They've got they've worked out the ranges and what else and
they're not moving.
There's nothing they're ready for you. You're not ready for you.
Exactly. I mean, bushes have no negative right now. That's one thing they need to fix.
If people say like, just throw a grenade in that bush, well, that means for Emercon extract, I would
pretty much coming
like
for
50 grenades into that raid, grenade every single bush to make sure that there's no dude around.
Yeah.
And then the dudes that are kind of close will run right to you because you're throwing 60 nades.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly. So annoying.
It's pretty much, hey, I'm here, man.
What's going on over here?
Yeah.
They need to make bushes snag. Like they need, like when you're trying to turn, maybe you snag on the bush and you can't move your barrel because you're in a bush, right?
I mean, everyone
reserve.
Yeah. Anyone that's ever been in the bush
Like
knows,
reserve, exactly.
Yeah.
Reserve a little bit, but reserve still just slows you. It doesn't really snag you or anything.
I like that. That's a good idea. And as Shartooth's saying, man, the bushes on reserve are a really nice example because you try and get through it and you're like, this fucking, and I like that. I really like that. The fact that you have
to be honest, like it should affect people more that have a backpack, that have armor, that have a rig. Like any of the military guys here,
A long barrel gun.
You've been going through woods and stuff, kitted. And you realize, like, damn, I'm hitting every single thing, every branch, every tree, and it's getting stuck on your tech, etc.
Tired as fuck because you're like pulling through shit.
Sucks, man. Yeah.
It should add just just a noise factor or something, or like maybe 5% slower per thing that you have on.
I would say that most extracts are clearable in combat. The one that isn't clearable, like at all, if they're there with GL good to go, you're fucked anyway. It's one on reserve downstairs. Extracts.
Yeah,
that is impossible to clear. If they are there with GL, you quick peek it, bang, dead. Like, okay, I'm dead then.
Yeah, they can see
ones you can feasibly clear. So I don't have issues normally. You can take an angle and peek it. Yeah, I think it's clear, but you don't know it's clear definitely. But that one there is foobar. It's like it's a gamble each time to go there.
I think more extracts in general is the way to go. Like,
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, why can a scav extract at Svetley Dead End and I can't as a PMC?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there should be more extracts in general, more unconditional extracts, not extracts like, okay, you can use this extract, but only if
You're dehydrated.
Yeah, and you've done 360 spins and you fucking.
Yeah, it's
you know
too
what I mean?
much
Like,
shit like that, man.
you know, I want to leave the area. I'm going to find a way to leave the area. Oh, it's a wall with razor wire at the top. I'm going to take my jacket off. I'm going to throw it over the top. I'm going to fucking chuck my bag over and I'm going to follow it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to leave an area a lot more freely in a lot of cases. Like, I hate the fact that there's 2 extracts you can use.
I love how it's that's like an extract a lot of people don't use, but that's the idea of that extract is absolutely amazing in my opinion. Labs the air, the ventilation system.
Without the backpack.
Like you can go there as long as you have an MBSS backpack on and not bigger. So basically set the extracts to the size of your backpack. Interchange, for instance, the hole in the wall. You could go there with like as long as you're having a scav backpack, you're fine because you can physically lift the backpack, throw it over the wall, and then going through. As when you have like a raid backpack that is around 100 kilograms, you cannot lift that thing and throw it over. That just isn't going to work. So I would love to see like more extracts that are like conditioned to the certain type of gear you take, because that gives you, before you go into the raid, the possibility to decide how you're going to play the map, where you want to go, and playing it a little bit more tactical or more aware.
How do you guys feel about the radiation? Like, we have the radiation feature in the game. I mean, they have a setting for it. It's just not implemented. How would you feel about extracts emitting, you know, very low levels of radiation that stack up exponentially?
100%.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's
And
your
then if you
tactic,
sit in it, extract
extracts, that-
camping, exactly.
Well, you got to bring anti-radiation meds or something that are, you know, it adds a cost if you're going to do that.
And
why suggest that you can never actually? I think they can mechanic in the game where if that's your go-to every single game, it's going to kill you over time and make your stats worse, or something have negative impact. A one-off is okay sort of thing.
Yeah, you start growing extra heads because you fucking irradiate like in Fallout. You know what I mean?
So to tie this into the radiation, I'm a big fan of the Stalker series of games as well as the miniseries Chernobyl. We can tie in to this if there's going to be radiation on like the fringes of the map. You could also tie into the foliage, like bushes. Retain a little more radiation because, you know, they seep down. Like the basically what happens is everything gets irradiated, then like it rains, then it like kind of pools at the bottom of the bush. Well, you get a little bit more extra radiation.
There we go.
Irradiated bushes. Not saying like, oh, you've been in the bush for 5 minutes, you're dead. You know, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like, you know, that's how it works. That's how it works in like that the Chernobyl exclusion zone. You know, like the trees are like super radiated to this day.
It seems like the cultists may be like, I've observed cultists appear out like snakes in the fucking grass behind people that we were watching on Woods. They stopped in a bush to pack a mag. A cultist just rose up out of the fucking dirt and stabbed him to death, and then like shot him and took all his shit. And it like, I think that could be another alternative where, you know, you spend enough time in one area, you got a chance of you know, and that brings up other things, like other issues like farming them, but at least everyone would know you're camping because you're shooting these guys who are stabbing you to death on a regular basis.
Gonna have to move.
Fucking Undertaker over here, just sitting up out of the dirt real quick and looking around.
Dude, they do that. I was walking on Night Woods, and I was like, are those fucking eyes in the grass? And I shoot it, and it's a cultist, and he's just laying in the grass looking at me, little half moon of his face with his eyes in it, just sticking in the grass. Awesome.
Creepy, man.
Fuck, man.
So creepy.
Chat's
I haven't seen them first, man. I haven't seen them.
I'm so sad Dan did not get to find them first. I'm not gonna lie. Dan had been running night raids every single post wipe, sub wipe, doesn't matter, to find them. And then the one time he's not fucking here, they dropped it.
Update, and I'm there with my night vision, like, trying to search for them. Do you know what I mean? And then I go away for a few days, and then I'm getting messages, Dan, the coolest are in. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like Nikita has a personal vendetta against me. It's like, oh, you think you're clever, huh? Fucking searching for cultists all this time, and then he knows that I go away and he implements them, but it's all good.
He knows too much.
He knows too much, yeah. No, but I'm really glad that they're in the game, man. The cultists are one thing that I will say, and you know, a lot of guys know that I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to the story. Like in the books, the cultists are never ever mentioned as to wearing like slick armors and all this sort of thing. Like in the books, the cultists they're quite ragtag. They're quite well organized with like explosives and stuff like that, but they generally will like carry shotguns. They generally will go for like force, like they'll try and overwhelm via numbers. They're not like in the story, the cultists aren't these like fucking slick ninjas with well, they do have knives and that obviously, but yeah. So I don't know if the cultists are in the right place at the moment gear wise. I know why they have got great gear on them, because obviously they want it to be a reward for killing these dudes, and a reward and an incentive to play night raids and discover them and stuff like that. But I think, you know, I would like to see cultists be more of like, and the same with scavs as well, more of a numbers threat than this cultist has a fucking SVD and a slick. So
and tactics, man. I want to see scav tactics. I want to get flanked and shit by scavs because one of them's fucking with me, and then the rest are like flanking around.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you got a scav at checkpoint just like firing pot shots at you, and you're like, oh, he's firing shots, and you like focus on him. You're sitting at the blue van on customs, and you're like trying to peek him, and then you just get a guy come around the side like Shaq Barriga, my starts shooting you in the side of the head. And you're like, ah, 101, and you're like, oh. You're getting overwhelmed from different positions. Exactly, like that's what I want to see with scavs and like cultists. It should be numbers. You should be like overwhelmed via numbers and inaccurate fire. Do you know what I'm saying? Like suppressing fire and stuff like that, rather than these like Terminator guys that we've got at the moment. And I know why it is. We've got very little AI in the game because of how much it impacts performance. Like obviously, ideally there'd be groups of like 8, 10, 12 scavs at checkpoint. There'd be 10 scavs at gas station. There'd be 10 scavs, you know, in dorms and stuff like that. And I think it's a shame. I think BSG are really fighting against the technical side when it comes to AI because of like how intensive they are and how much stress it puts on the systems. Does that make sense?
I mean, if you guys remember back about a couple of patches back, like on Inchange, there was this bug that caused scavs to almost spawn indefinitely. Like I had that once happen to me.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
I killed 46 scavs until they actually stopped spawning. So if you could implement it somehow like this, if the technical issue is a problem at the moment, just like make them like respawn faster and like actively pushing you, that would add like a lot of tension to the game. And then you really got to care like how much ammo do I bring in? Yeah, do I have enough meds, etc., etc. And you wouldn't have all these guys. I mean, I'm doing this as well, but it's just somehow for me it's like ridiculous that you have one mag in your gun, one mag in your rig, and the other 2 mags are like in your safe container with the ammunition to it. Like right up your ass. It just feels silly.
I feel like they should jam the mags when you put them in your gun out of your prison wallet.
You're full of poopies.
Full of shit, dude.
Gunk. Yeah, gunk. Lube and gunk.
People with mags.
Lube too. Oh boy.
It's always 60s. You know it's always 60s. Come on.
That's why I need the WD-40.
Yeah.
Oh man,
dude.
Why do you think Vaseline's in the game?
Put on your lips.
How do you guys feel about having to have and use Vaseline to put an item into or out of your secure container?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, shit.
I still think that they shouldn't allow you to put things in your secure container during raids, but that's just me.
Agree. No, I totally agree with you.
I like the new thing though with the raid status or whatever when you die, but still.
Yeah, same.
Fountain raid's good. Much less.
Yep.
Much
It's
less
good.
hatcheters.
Hatchers,
It's good, but it's a pain in the fucking ass when you got task items.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I haven't seen a hatchet boy in a while, actually.
You should have a separate one for task items.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you got this in raid. You died, but you still got it in raid, so we'll still take it.
What? I don't think so.
I think yeah.
Like
I will say this. I can't tell you how many times like I've been doing the spark plugs or the friggin' CPU tasks where I'm like trying to get 5 of a thing, and then like I get killed by an extract camper or like a scav 100-meter buckshot to the face through a face shields. Yeah, that happened. And then it's like, cool, I can't use this. Awesome. But at the same time, like it would have been nice. Like I don't care about selling it on the market, but all I care about is using it towards a task. That'd be nice. You know, like
yeah, you have to be on the task for it to count for the task.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even
but they
planning on
have
selling
to-
it.
You can't even vendor it.
They have to incentivize, like, imagine if it didn't have to be found in raid, you do every task naked.
Yeah.
Empty prison pockets, grab it, stuff it in, disconnect. It doesn't matter.
It's not called task.
I mean,
Escape from Tarkov. Survival should be
Yeah.
the one thing that matters the most. And I don't mean play like a rat. Like I think PvP should be like more meaningful, because you know what I'm saying. Like you have the spark plugs that you were saying. Like I don't want to fight anybody because I need this for the task. But like maybe re-implementing somebody's guns or being able to sell their armor, their helmet, you know, whatever you kill off of them or something might make it more meaningful again.
well,
But I
it's
just don't
meaningful
care
because
wants
you
to
don't have a
go over.
choice in the fight every time.
Sure,
Like
true.
if you don't have to have it found in raid, there's no purpose in having it. You could just buy it off the flea market again, right? You gotta, you know, the point is to escape. The PvP, even if you're trying to avoid it, you don't always have that choice.
Mhm.
It's there to incentivize it.
Yeah, I understand exactly where
Sorry
you're coming
about that.
from. No. Like I just say that because it's like that's just me and my own personal issues, and the amount of time that I have is like minimal to do all of the things. Not a knock on anyone
It's frustrating.
here. It's just frustrating as
And
hell
I
when you're
super
stuck on
slow.
a task. Like you're like, I got 4 hours to stream. I want to try and get a couple tasks done today, and it's like, cool, I did nothing. I spun my tires all day. Done. Cool. Great. Let's try that again tomorrow. Actually, no, same thing. Cool. You know, like, that's the only like it. Like I guess it's a little more of a casual thing, I suppose.
That's how you wind up wearing the killer helmet and like the Ford armor to go pistol guys on factory or something.
Yeah.
You're
Yes,
just
Jan.
fed up with that shit.
Yeah.
But the point is you want to survive or get out with that item,
Yes.
and you try it every which way. And I don't know. I feel like it's by design at this point.
Yeah, but I don't want BSG to like want to piss off their players into submission. Like, I don't know, man. It's hard because obviously after playing for 3 years and doing the same tasks over and over again, like that has changed a lot of our perspectives on like how, you know, how it feels to get tasks done and stuff like that. So, you know, I remember being a bit more fresh maybe 2 years ago, when I wouldn't mind so much, you know, dying and not getting the task item or whatever, because it was like, oh, that's okay, you know, we can just gear up and go for another raid. But like, I think at the moment, it might just be because we've played so much, but like at the moment, finally finding that gas analyzer that you need and then getting spawn extract camped was like super tilting. And I don't know if like that reflects on the rest of the player base or if that's just going on in my head, but just having your progress through the tasks or having your progress through the game halted, you know, 4 days worth of finding something halted. Like, fortunately, I went on a scav next and got one, but you know, 4 days of looking for something and then for it to be taken from you like that, it did make me go like, you know, when you die in Dark Souls, you're like, oh, that was such a tough fight. You know, I'm going to try again and try and go better next time. But for me, it was just like, fuck this game. Like, it just completely killed my, you know, and I don't mean to be negative, but it completely killed my just motivation for that, you know.
That's why I feel we were talking about, like, personally, I wouldn't mind locking the containers, but I also feel like I do not represent most people I don't think any of us do. We play this game a lot.
Yeah.
That is the only reason I'm generally like I'd be okay with it. It wouldn't affect a single thing I do. But that's like a self-imposed thing. I remember being new. I've talked to new people, and it's, you know, them stuff in the Bitcoin in the prison pockets. That can be the difference between I can run like 4 raids when I die, rather than I am dead broke, you know. And I don't know. It's one of those things where I feel we may have forgotten what it's like to be very new or very casual at this.
I mean, I agree with you in that manner. A perfect example is like for the private clinic quest where you need to hand over free LED access. As a casual player who gets a chance of playing like, let's say 4 hours a day, and you have days where you're never going to find the LEDX, and then like after a whole week of playing, you finally find that LEDX in order to complete that quest, and you cannot put it in your secure container, and then you get shot by a guy. Like that's 1 week of worth of work for nothing. That can be super frustrating, especially for like I mean, it's not affecting us because we have hours a day to play this game. But as a casual player, I see the problem there with locking the secure container.
Well, and that's why I think, like, I like kind of the system they've set up, because like your hideout upgrades doesn't matter.
Yep.
So the way I look at it is your quests, a lot of it needs the same sort of garbage. I wish there was better explanation, but you do have the option to select when you're upgrading and, you know, your hideout or whatever. Do I want to use the found and raid one or the not found and raid one? That sort of thing. I feel like that's sort of a good middle ground. Maybe we just need more things to do, you know, like the progression. I mean, we, like you guys have mentioned, we have level 50 players. I don't remember when the wipe was, but it's been like a week.
5 days.
Not even a week, dude.
Yeah, 5 days.
I mean,
5 days.
I feel like if anything, it's pretty doable. I feel like having to get the stuff out, survive, you know, like let's say you're Chaddington and you finally get the LEDX you need for your damn quest. You got to switch it up, right? You need to survive with that shit. You got to be careful. It's, you know, it adds a different aspect to it. But if you die with it, okay, I can do something else with it in the hideout or an upgrade, or I think we just need that developed more so that it's not like Dan was saying, it's not like, oh, I wasted 4 days for nothing. If there's something you can get out of it, that's like a nice middle ground. There's still some progression there, but it's not like dead easy. Let me just buy this shit off flea market and I'm 30 levels in because my quests are all turning silly shit in that I didn't have to find myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll make it. No, that's stupid. Forget it.
I think we're about.
That's what I used to do.
Go ahead.
One found a raid, just buy it.
Yeah, I want to say like give one idea that maybe would work is like giving it a multiple choice. Like instead of having one LEDX that you need in order to upgrade your hideout, make it okay. You can either have one LEDX or 100 blood sets, for instance, something with the equivalent value that you just have to like spend the same amount of time just to give people more options to get to the goal instead of saying just that one item is needed.
Maybe like or expanded trader barters where you could, you know, have like you have that 100 blood sets found in raid. You can trade those in for a, you know, a LEDX or I don't know, something.
Yeah, more trades and more crafting for quests. Well, I was speaking about this today as well. I was saying I wish I could craft a gas analyzer. Like I can craft a for you. I should be able to craft a gas analyzer. But I mean,
you can make military radios and shit, but you can't.
Yeah. It would be nice, like if you could craft stuff for the tasks. I mean, we already are seeing this sort of thing, and I'm sure it's going to be expanded. We're seeing new crafts and new trades all the time. I mean, obviously, the problem with trades is they're not found in raid. But I know what you're saying. It could be like find in raid 1 LEDX, or find in raid 1 this, or find in raid 50 of these, or find in raid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
options.
It's so frustrating when it's like find in raid this one particular thing, which you kind of, you know, if you open 100 filing cabinets, maybe you find it. Do you know what I'm saying?
In Tarkov, it's not going to spawn on the map if you need it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's just how
the game knows exactly what
be.
the game knows exactly what you need. Like,
you know, someone mentioned casuals, right? The game's not meant for casuals, though. Like, it's just not. Like Prophet said earlier, the game is sped up right now. So when you think about that, the game is not going to be meant for casuals. So, like, always
What
bringing
is
up that, what about
casual?
casual players? Exactly. It's like, you know what? Like, I get it. You know, you might not have time to play it. I don't have time to play it right now. But the thing is, you can't cater to that because it's the style of the game is just not casual. It's just not. It's hardcore.
Thank you, Gunvash. Thank you.
And that's
I
why.
don't-
Well, but what does that mean?
We should not
So
to the people that play 2 hours a day. Like, I understand their plight, right? But you can't. Like, it's just that's not. It's the people like Pestily that drive this game. It's not the people that come on for an hour and play 2 raids. You know, it's completely.
it needs to be accessible. It doesn't need to be catered. It needs to be accessible.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think it is
And
right now.
that's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Flea market, man. Hey, you fuck casual. Guess what? You can get anything you want off the flea market. A little extra money. It's the convenience, you know. I mean, they
And
don't have
that's-
max
And
traders.
that's why, it's a bit off topic here. I don't want to go too far because next one off the bit is like Twitch. I see it's like topic change here. But if you made things like ammo and stuff and other things rarer, and made it so you found them in raid, a new player could pick this up. A bullet to the head is a bullet to the head, regardless of what ammo you're wearing. And you can find good ammo in raid. You can find that stuff, and you can clap them straight away. So a new player could do the same as an experienced player if you're good at shooting and you're patient and you play a game a certain way.
Give me
And
those legs,
effort
boy.
and effort over time will get you better gear because it will be. I don't think. Well, who knows? The game's gonna get slower in the future, isn't definitely 100% slower. You can't go on having these wipes every 4 to 6 months and people getting leveled in 4 or 5 days. That's not going to become a thing. It has to slow down. It has to. So.
well, and when they slow down progression and wipes are significantly longer, if they're there at all or seasonal or whatever, there's not going to be this expectation that drives everyone in this game right now, where it's like, we're 6 days in. If I'm not 40, why am I playing?
I can't twerk.
Was that a twerk? What's that?
Queen told me to. I'm sorry.
I was like, what's going on?
God.
I was like, what are you? If that was a twerk, that was a poor twerk, Gunvash, as well.
It was. I can't twerk. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Queen tells you to
Jeez.
twerk, dude. Otherwise, you're gonna get sent to the dungeon.
Exactly. And
before,
that dungeon is very interesting.
Data. Next topic.
Yeah,
mate. Next
yeah.
topic.
We're kind of going on a breakaway here, guys. We've kind of talked a little bit about like the casuals and everything like that. We were talking about woods. There is a bit of Streets of Tarkov, but if you guys want to dip into the removal of the flea market, kind of staying on topic with like the whole like top 20% versus the top low by the bottom 20%, meaning that like, do we remove the flea market because it's too easy? You know, that's one of the topics.
First, does anyone think that's ever? I mean, I'm all for the discussion of how it would benefit or change things up, but it's just not going to happen. They didn't.
I think
spend all this time and money developing it to get rid of it. It's not. It's one of those things that's just clickbait. It's less than 0 chance of that happening.
Yeah.
Ever.
I don't think it'll be removed either.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be removed.
See, it's not removing the flea market, but lock that darn thing behind a level cap or a quest line, dude. Like perfect example, as Dan said, first place he said with a Gen freaking 4, like you have them so cheap on the flea market at the moment, it's ridiculous. Let people get to level maybe 20, level 30, and then have access to the flea market. Not before. This would make the whole early wipe experience for everybody so much more interesting. And I mean, most of us guys remember there was no flea market at all. It was still doable. You still could progress in the game. It was just a little bit hard. You just had a little bit longer for everything, but not that much. And with the level cap, dude, you would have an amazing time in Tarkov, especially early wipe. Gear would matter more than ever. Good ammo would matter more than ever. And it just would improve the whole overall experience.
We've already got a level cap, so switching it up's not the end of the world or anything. But wouldn't the meta before go, like, the experienced people would go kill a Rashala and his goons, whoever. Raiders, now they're invincible. No one can compete. You start the wipe 2 weeks late. Why are you playing?
Set lab, set reserve to a level cap as well. And for the scav bosses, I mean, they only have this much of a spawn chance. Killer alone has one set of gear. I wouldn't necessarily
pretty good though, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think, dude, that this would like have a big impact.
I think the flea market should be locked behind all tier. Like, you have to have every trader at tier 4, because I mean, it defeats the purpose of traders to have the flea market early on like that. So I mean, obviously that's difficult to do, but
just to touch on that, what I think needs to happen is that if you manage to get loyalty level 4 and you got max traders and all that jazz, and the flea market is there, and we did the found and raid to get rid of guys just flipping items from the traders to the market, can we please get rid of the global stock? I'm trying to buy 4x6 ammunition for my friggin' MP7, and all of a sudden Homeboy's out of ammo, and it's like, but why not just make it I could only buy 120 rounds of APSX, and then I got to come back with the next restock, as opposed to it being out of ammunition because the global stock got bought up, you know? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I could be alone on that.
I think
one.
it's artificial. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I think it's to introduce artificial scarcity. So what I mean, I feel like what people do, what I've done since they've added this, when I have like redonkulous money, is I'll just trade a resets, or reset in the last half hour.
Yep.
I'll just go buy max every ammo I have, put each one in a case. When they're full, I don't do it anymore. And then I'm good no matter what. I think it's just an artificial scarcity in an attempt to make you run different kits. It's an attempt to crush meta that doesn't particularly work well, but does work in like a limited capacity.
Okay. So I guess
110 rounds of 9mm from an MP5, it lasts half a raid.
Not even, man. That's what that's 2 mags, a 250 round mags.
Yeah, and you're done. You can't use that for another. You can't use that for another 3 hours.
If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think the direction it's going in is you're not going to be able to buy that at the traders. I think those limits are going to go down.
So
that's what Clean's been asking for a long time.
So they're going to continue to, and it's all going to be hideout. You're going to make it yourself. That's why it seems the hideout, like the crafting, hideout management, you can craft 2, at max level, 2 types of ammo at a time. I imagine if that'll go up, at increments, and eventually you'll be making your own ammo in the hideout or finding it in raid, therefore making it more valuable, and you'll use less of it like that.
So that's the next topic, is that only being able to craft high-end ammo in your hideout. Meaning
I would love that, dude.
Yeah.
I would love it if it was faster than like 2 hours to make 100 bullets.
Would everyone still love it? Keeping in mind that means you're running around
mid-tier,
like 2 out of 3 raids, grabbing all the shit to make it.
Or you're running around with mid-tier ammunition as opposed to good stuff.
I mean,
yes. Well, that I feel like is a good compromise, and that's probably what they're trying to do.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm imagining that so the way this is going to work economically is that all the crafting materials for top tier ammo are going to be astronomically expensive. So you're going to spend, this is, as streamers, your job is to like create interesting shit. A lot of that is PvP for viewers. How are you going to feel about that if you're spending that much time? Like, I'm all for it. I'm King Rat. I'm into it. How do you feel thinking, okay, so I need to run 180 rounds of half 995, half 855A1. I need to spend 2 attack 2 raids grabbing these items on different maps. How is that, like, how do you feel about that as an idea?
Kind of ties back into my personal situation. Just time,
Yeah, it's just
like I would just be like, I'd be like, you know what? The amount of time and effort it's going to take me to get all those items to run that the top tier ammunition, I'm just going to say screw it, and I'm just going to run mid tier. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. No, I'm not saying back to the Mosin. I'm saying like 545 BT, friggin', PS ammunition for 7.62x39. I'm talking like
856A1. It will be okay this raid.
Yeah. Or even 855A1 or whatever. Yep. I would. That's what ammo. I think that's what people do.
Yeah.
I agree, and I think honestly, what you guys were talking about earlier is, late wipe, you peak, you're insta dead. Everyone's running top tier.
Yeah.
Is this an acceptable sort of direction to where the time investment to run those things, it's not just, shell out the cash. It's, you got to get this shit, you got to make it, then you can run it. It's a huge time investment. Will that extend sort of that style of fight that you guys are really enjoying right now?
It's true.
Further into the wipe? Because if even at the current rates of progression, it takes a long time, like, to get level 51 crafting, to even be able to make 2 types of top tier ammo at once. Even if you VNC into your computer from work and do this all day, you got alarms set, you got like the calculator watch, you're rolling on it. This is time consuming. You have to get the materials. It's, would that extend that pleasant period that you guys were talking about enjoying so much at early wipe? Would that be an acceptable alternative to kind of supplement the length of it? What do we think?
I'm not sure. I just feel like early wipe, like, rounds actually feel like they do what they're supposed to do. Like, I shot you 3 times in the chest. You're wearing like a bank robber and a friggin' like Karasa. You're down. Like, it feels good when the ammo works, as opposed to, I'm running like a class 5 chest rig, and like I checked around the corner and I'm dead because homeboy had like a laser HK with like 50 rounds dumped into my chest by the time I finished trying to peek back around the corner. So yeah, that's just, I'm not sure what the balance is, but I definitely think that making it where you need to craft it, and even the traders don't have it, that could be definitely a good workaround.
I agree.
Maybe
currently already is. Yeah. There already is currently, isn't there, builds for BS rounds or GremlinGaming in Trader, or in your hideout, and M95 rounds as well, I believe. I think so.
They've added some too.
But more of those things would be good. And remove the ability to put mags in your gamma and rounds in your gamma as well.
Yep.
Would help balance that off. So if you intend to use ammo, why is it in a secure container? That shouldn't be a thing. That is ludicrous. That shouldn't be a thing at all. Obviously, we've gone from having mag boxes in a secure container to now that's not allowed. Obviously, that was OP as hell. So I think limiting rounds in Trader, promoting looting for high tier rounds in Raid, but not making it too crazy to like hours and hours of looting to get a mag full of rounds. That's insane. Making it in Raid, have to go and run and find it first, and allow you to build more from a bit of like adding some gunpowder. I think that'll help balance out a bit better.
Yeah,
somewhat. Well, how do you feel about this? Just 2 seconds. So, how do you guys think it? Like, you were just bringing this up, Prophet. How do you feel about that? Would change the loot value, because gunpowder, these things that are required to make this high tier ammo, it wouldn't just be rush key rooms, rush tech stores, rush med spawns, these sort of things. It would be all this loot has more value individually.
Yeah, hit toolboxes, right? Full of gunpowder, shit like that.
That's what I'm doing now, early wipe. That's my main go-to now is loot runs for these certain items.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, gunpowder's crazy cheap on the flea market. Like it's like
red and
fifth the
green.
price. Insane.
Sugar, chocolates.
Buy up now, chat. Buy up, no chat. So buy it up now and store it in your stash. You'll reap dividends later on, definitely 100%. But
cool, bro.
I think. Like it's in the shop, it is to reward players doing that and reward you for going to raid and picking up that gunpowder and getting out of it, sort of thing, rather than just camping the traders every 3 hours and buying up the rounds when you can, because some guys like us, I can't do that. Other guys that are at home all the time will go click, 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 and they just get all the good, literally maxed out MI5 rounds and they're good to go. People that aren't full-time, people that are part-time gamers, 2-3 hours a night max, that's where they'll struggle, because they'll be like, I can't even buy this stuff. It's selling out really quickly here. It's insane. Or I'm missing the opportunity to buy at the rounds. So I think that needs to be looked at to maybe help out the guys that aren't so hardcore.
I mean, you see it pretty well on the 545 by 39 BT ammo at the moment. That is like a mediocre ammo that you're finding pretty much a lot in every raid. Like if you have like 220 packs, you got 240 rounds every raid. If you look a little bit for it, you almost find the reserve is like a gold mine for these things. And if they would do that like with all mediocre rounds, it actually would be a pretty great way to like find the balance and the high end ammo make it craftable only.
Craftable high end like M95 and
exactly.
Definitely, I'm down for that, dude. Definitely, man.
Yeah, that would be great. Dude.
I like that a lot, dude. Only hideout, pretty much, and maybe fountain raid.
We want to talk about
the 60 rounds of M61 that you find in one raid are not going to last you like quite a lot, so it wouldn't make that much difference. You still would have had the chance, right?
I'd like to see like more ammo though, like more, because like those boxes you find BTs and BS, and there's like PS rounds. Like you rarely ever find 5.56. You rarely ever find 7N1s that are like in boxes pretty much. I want them to like kind of expand, like container ammo. Like it's always the same stuff that you find. It's always the same stuff.
USGS,
shotgun shells,
PS ammo, BT. Shotgun ammunition. That's it.
PRS. It's all the same shit,
PST, GZH.
Yeah.
Now, what about if you could take, like we have some crafts now where you can say take apart a large amount of shit ammo to make a smaller amount of better ammo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like that could assist as well. And we already obviously have some of that now, or it could be turned into crafting materials. Like you could take the gunpowder out of shitty ammo. So now, if you did it that way, you could take like better ammo, get better gunpowder, make the ammo you want, that sort of thing.
So basically, just like you have the weapon breakdown, you could do the same to get weapons parts. You should be able to start doing the same thing with random ammunition, like a bunch of PP or PS ammunition for 5.45. Strip that down. Take out its components, and then we can start using those components to make different gunpowders and make different ammunition.
Exactly. That way, I mean, we already have some of that in where you can turn, these rounds plus this item into these rounds, or a bunch of these, 200 of these rounds into 50 of these rounds. An expansion on that, especially for like the less common ammos plus the crafting, could make that pretty viable, and it would make all that shit ammo that no one picks up, that might be worth a second look.
Yeah, I mean, all the bad ammo like PRS at the moment, the only reason why it's there is because it's a noob trap. Like literally, that's the only
It's
Pretty
reason
much, yeah, pretty much.
I can come up with the idea. It's a noob trap. But if you, I love the idea. If you would you have the possibility to like gather the, collect these rounds and then use them to craft gunpowder in order to craft better rounds, that would be amazing, because it would give every ammo a meaning again, a reason as of why it's in the game.
Yeah, we have plenty of high flash, high pen, on different ends of the spectrum, and then we have plenty of stuff in the middle that no one uses because why? It doesn't excel at anything. That would give it purpose. You'd pick it up again. Maybe you'd run around and grab all this garbage ammo because there's a couple hundred rounds on the map and turn that into something useful,
And you get
for runs later.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of weapons and ammunition, what do you guys think about the new animations or mounting animations for a lot of the belt-fed weapons, like the machine guns, and the concept of them overheating?
Is that? Do you know what? I wasn't even aware that was a thing. What's the crack of weapons now? The HMGs? How's that working?
Well, LMGs, so like the light machine guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing. So like my thing would be in real combat, okay, even just 10 rounds, you're on a night raid, you have NVGs or a Reap or something, and your own gun would be glowing slightly or just hotter, just from 10 rounds, man. So if you're in a night fight and you shoot 120 rounds in 2 minutes, your barrel should slightly glow red, I think. Like, I think it would be badass in the darkness. And then, NVGs, you can really see it. Thermal, you can really see it. It'll make the game more realistic.
To be even...
there is jamming in this game, right? Like lower than 50%. You do experience a jam and animation and things, but I think they should just, like Data was saying earlier, put it on all weapons randomly too. Like, it just make it random. Like AK should have a less chance because that's the style of gun they are. They don't shoot as quickly, but they're more reliable. I think it would. I mean, just imagine being in a fight in dorms and you're looking at a dude and your gun jams. Like, oh my god.
And then it'd be pretty slick. Would be actually people bringing pistols in. Be like, shit.
Yeah.
Boom.
Switch
pistol out.
Yeah.
I think it sounds cool, but at the same time, I'd say remember it's a game. It has to be fun. There's a fine line between fun and realism. I suppose if your guns like now, I think it's certain durability. It can jam in game. It will jam in game already. That's been a thing for a while. But if my gun's like pristine, I don't want it jamming mid firefight.
Yeah.
I would lose my shit.
Not a right? But what about a Mosin? It's pristine in the game, but it's been around for 100 years. In a farmer's closet.
Think clunkier, pretty much. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Needs a bit of a kick to it for the bolt, because it's a clunky ass gun. I've shot Moses before. They're clunky as shit, dude.
The bolt is really finicky to friggin'
man,
get it to work. It's like, I've shot like a Car 98, like the proper German engineering. Very good. Like, man, that thing is buttery smooth when you're using it, but like a Milson, it's like, god damn it.
Yeah,
like,
or the Enfields, dude. Like the Enfields, like you can just easy. But a Mosin, man, you need a fucking hammer for that shit, dude.
Sometimes.
Well, and how into it do you want to get there? Do you want feed errors on larger mags? Like how
exactly. So instead of having a 60 rounder just negative 40 ergo, why don't you make it negative 10 ergo and then a 20% chance to have a feed error? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to just be a constant fuckery. And I think, like Prophet was saying at the beginning, they should run buttery smooth. But we've all had those raids. You get out 700 round shot, you're like, holy shit, how did I survive? And that, I think, will just add another layer of realism and sweat, blood and tears. But then I will say, we do have stutters, we do have desync. Like, those are like the gun malfunctions and shit already. So maybe we implement that when it's fixed. I don't know,
I think in the game in the future, when you have arena mode, that's where that wouldn't apply. But maybe if there was truly the open world thing, survival element like Daisy, it's not happened as we want it, then maybe you could introduce those sort of gun jams with weapon like randomly jam and stuff, and do tap a magazine or rack it back and wrap and tack sort of thing. My opinion now, it's another thing that to trigger you like with desync, with other things going wrong in the games, like oh fucking hell, weapon to stop firing mid-combat. Fuck.
It would be
lazy shit.
I think.
Well,
when we're talking about features,
really...
go on, mate. Go on.
Sorry, no, sorry, I had the delay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, you know, I think when it comes to features, and we're talking about things like that would affect gameplay and affect like your tactics and your thinking and everything else. Like, I think we all do it anyway because we play the game so much. But I don't think it's fair to base potential gameplay and mechanics and stuff like that on like the issues that we have, like the technical issues. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we get stressed out with like desync and stuff like that, but at the same time, I don't want to like push ideas out of the way because we think they would be really annoying on top of the desync. Does that make sense? Like, but
you're right.
The randomness, it would definitely be frustrating. However, of course, if you kept your weapons in like good condition, let's say for example you repaired them all the time, you have like a high repair skill. I think there is a repair skill as well that's not implemented yet. Like, let's say for example you kept on top condition every time you finished a raid, you like repaired your gun, or like you worked on like cleaning the parts, or you did something to like maintain it. You know, you was using good quality magazines and stuff like that. I think, you know, it would be quite rare for your weapon to malfunction. But if you use one of these guys that's firing fucking 180 round bursts and then like not even cleaning the weapon, not taking it out, using 60 rounders and stuff, like that sort of, if you're being more kind of like, I don't know if blasé is the word, but like more careless with your weapon, I think that's when you might open up yourself to possibilities of weapon malfunctions. So, does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think to touch on that, it'd be pretty cool where it's like, okay, cool, you got a slick like HK or M4, like super meta, looks cool, but you've got 60 rounders on there, and those are increasing your chance of like double feeds or stoppages or whatever. But then you're like, you know what, instead of running that, maybe I'll have one on the main gun, but then all my other mags would be 30 rounders because you're gonna have less of a risk of like getting a weapon malfunction that way, you know?
How do you guys feel? Like, I feel like that is probably a good direction that would follow, because they're trying to incentivize team-based gameplay, better tactics, better coordination between teams. You get a stoppage, you got to clear, your team covers, you know, things along those lines.
Yeah.
And it would incentivize, like, right now, if you're point firing close up anyway, there's really no downside to running like a 60 that in real life would not feed particularly well for very long.
Not ADSing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just going around the corner blasting 60 rounds at the guy you heard back there or pre-firing, it doesn't matter. But if there's a good chance that shit is going to jam, maybe you start running reliable 30s or 40s or whatever.
And that's what I basically was trying to say is I think it shouldn't just be recoil and ergo. Like, there needs to be lots of other little micro stats in there, like different suppressors do different things, you know, different foregrips do different things. It's just like, I mean, I know it's a game and I'm not a programmer, you know, I'm not the guy typing the numbers in trying to make things work. So I know my thing is, what I'm saying is, let me just give them another 50 things to calculate. You know what I'm saying? But I think it would be fun. I think it would be really cool if they could do it.
And make the highs high and the lows lower. Imagine that fight where you're going against a 5-man and you get the stoppage on the last guy and get killed. You're going to lose your goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I would break stuff if that happened to me.
Yeah, it would be infuriating.
See, this wouldn't be one piece. This would be an half.
What do you guys think about?
It's hard, isn't it?
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's hard, like deciding about having your weapons stop working on you, because there's nothing more annoying in Tarkov than dying to something that wasn't your fault. And in some cases, if your weapon just suddenly decides, I mean, we've all had the weapon not firing bug, right? We've all had that fucking the single shot bug. We've gone, right, I'm gonna destroy this guy now because he's right next to me, and I'm ready to kill him.
MP7 just,
and you fire one shot and it just goes,
just
or you get there,
animation.
Exactly, you get stuck in, you know. So it is annoying. It's really frustrating when you are about to engage somebody and the game decides that you're not gonna, be able to shoot them. So it's a real double-edged sword, man. It's a real double-edged sword, and yeah, I think as long as we've got factors to mitigate weapons malfunctioning, then and what we need to remember as well is like generally we don't have weapons for long enough in a lot of cases. Like people are like, there's a repair weapon function in Tarkov because people don't generally have weapons for long enough to warrant repairing them. But like, back in the day, I've had weapons down to like 20%. Like I had a P90 that was at 20%. I had an MOA of like 19 fucking inches. It was crazy. You'd fire it and the rounds would just go like this, But yeah, it would have to be, I don't know. We'd have to have some sort of way to like keep on top of it, and maybe traders will sell. You could get like 5 different variants of M4, ranging from old and knackered and rusty to like completely new, and there'd be different prices. I don't know. Like if you wanted to fire it, you wanted to pick up an M4, but you couldn't afford like a full nice.
You couldn't get a Colt. M4, you got a Bushmaster instead,
Exactly,
you can trade some dumb shit for it as opposed to paying the money up front for the nice one.
Yeah, exactly. Like 5 matches.
You got all this ammo. Yeah, you could just dump some dumb shit in, get some shit gun, but you can use the ammo you have. If you do well with it, you can trade up,
That's not a bad idea, actually, to be fair. I mean, I mentioned Daisy before. Daisy has this exact mechanic already. You have everything from damage to ruin to pristine, and each one's have an increased chance of jamming, and that isn't a bad idea necessarily. I think maybe having a gun looks fine, just jamming you be quite annoying, but it could happen. In realistic, it could happen. But if you bought a gun knowing it was cheaper, a cheaper price, thought it's damaged, it's probably going to work, but there's a higher chance of jamming. I think that's an interesting thing to do potentially. So if you're lower money but couldn't afford the full price for M4. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Going into this as well, the multi-tool, making the multi-tool work so when we're in game, if we find like a foregrip or something, or a handguard, we can field strip and put that on it instead.
The
multi-tool's needed doing for years, man.
Apparently that someone saw that in Raid where like they said it's like you need a multi-tool to take this off. So that was like a tool tip that someone saw. It's like you want to remove this in Raid, you need a multi-tool. So apparently give that a shot. Like I don't know if it's confirmed yet, if you could actually take the time to remove it, but maybe by the time Streets comes around, that might be a thing.
It's been there for like a really long time, I think, like the tooltip. But like the multi-tool definitely needs like a a rework or something like that, like an addition or something.
And
make it like 10 seconds.
We've known about it for a long time.
Yeah.
Make it like 10 seconds to change it a damn, or 20 seconds or whatever, I mean, that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
Like a survival kit takes for like 7 seconds or 8 seconds, I'm not sure. Make it something like that, like gives you the accessibility, Even if it takes forever, maybe you want to put that stock on or something, it's there, it's available, fucking pop it in, I think it'll be good. It'll be very good.
Speaking of weapons, go ahead.
We would love to see is like, since you had like, let's say you find a damaged AK, that you can take that in your hideout, and since you already have the option to like disassemble the whole thing, just switch out the parts that are being damaged, and then you have a pristine AK again. Like stuff like that would be absolutely fantastic, because you're saving money by taking out a damaged gun instead of buying a brand new one, and just switch out the parts that are like broken, dude.
Like, refurbish it pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
Speaking of guns, what do you guys think about the Vector?
Oh, yeah, that is big.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
It does not have enough recoil, dude. It is too much of a laser. I mean, level 1 SMG, level 1 recoil control, I was not like missing. It was weird.
9mm, 19 recoil, the 45 is 26.
Nuts. That's too much.
I think it's meta late game, because now you got the PST rounds 9mm, really good at its tier.
Yeah.
Late game, the 4.5 caliber,
70
rip rounds is 170 damage per round, something ridiculous. So leg meta monster.
1100 RPM.
The rate of fire is a clean. It has a clean rate of fire as well. 1,100 rounds. It's gonna be disgusting.
And it can have can it have the 50 rounder of the Glock? So like M9 can't have a big magazine capacity.
Different cal mag, I think.
The 9mm.
You can for the 9.
It works. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
That's so fucking.
That's how it is in real life, anyway.
Yeah. So right now, the Max 0.45, like 100k each on the market. You buy them at later tier in the trades and stuff, but it's going to be absolute filth when you get hands on that gun and have the rounds for it. Filth. It's going to be good.
5 AP with like AP, there's like no chance, dude. Whatever army you have, you're going to go
AP
down. AP
actually isn't that good on the 4.5. It's like tier 3. Yeah. So you're better off using the Vector 9mm with AP. It's a higher pen chance up to tier 4 pushing. But the 0.45 AP is like level 3 pen. Isn't that good? But the rip ammo on the 0.55 AP is disgusting.
That's your leg meta round.
Yeah. Really good.
So, yeah, AP is 36, so 36 pens, so it will easily do 3. Most of the time, it will go through 4 with 43 armor damage, and the rate of fire of that is. I still think it's going to be the best one to run.
What
I
about
think
the
36
UMP?
pen.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think 36 pen, when it's flying out at 1100 RPM, is probably enough. I mean, I've been having fun with PST. I've been having fun with PST, which is like 20 pen. And you don't even need to do anything. You just need to point it at whoever you want to shoot. You squeeze the trigger and then just compensate for their head, and then they die. It's great.
Who used the MP9N with rip ammo here?
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
When you do it, but the 45 has even higher rip damage. It's like 120 per round or 130 per round, something like that, versus the like 90 or 100 for the other. It's going to be insane to just drop a 45 at 1100. Oh my god!
It's 127. 45 rip is 127 times.
It's going to be headshot times for your leg. If you're an accurate person, their legs, because it's always hilarious when you shoot in the leg, their leg flips up behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be the best.
I did that with 50 BMG rounds for the shotgun because it's the same amount. It's like 120 flesh damage, and like just leg meta. Good night. See you later, man. Back to lobby.
Send it back home.
Yeah.
That's it. What do you guys think about the 338 Lapua Magnum?
I haven't used that one yet. Is that the Mjolnir, right?
The Mjolnir. Yeah.
I want to use that.
Nice.
I'm super skeptical because it has enough pen to pen tier 6 armor, ignoring it, and enough damage to kill you in one shot to the chest.
I mean, it's practically a fucking 50 cal. I should hope so. You know, like
they had to buff killer's HP, I think, because of Lapua Magnum, like just one shot and kill it right in the chest.
I mean, how does that come into the decision making at BSG? They're like, we've introduced this weapon in this round. And instead of thinking to themselves, and I'm not bashing BSG here, but instead of thinking to themselves, right, we've introduced this round and it fucking kills killer in one shot. Instead of like changing the round and thinking maybe the round's too powerful, they go, well, let's just make killer harder then. Let's just increase his health. Like, where's the decision-making process there?
Increase his health and make it so you can't sneak up on him easier anymore.
Yeah, rather than look at the ammo that they've just implemented, they're going to change a major factor of the game. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, come on, guys.
I personally wouldn't have an issue with the ammo itself. What the issue that I have is that the sniper rifle is only like around 200 grand. Why? The T7, for instance, is a perfect example. A T7 costs you 10 freaking millions, and you don't see them very often. Like, I have no problem with having a weapon and that ammunition in the game that can one-tap things, but it's way too cheap at the moment.
Too cheap, yeah.
I mean, everything's cheap at the moment, no.
I believe it being a DMR, I think with 10 rounds, with that much firepower, I think it's just too much, man. It should have been like a bolt action.
Every time, no matter what armor you're wearing.
I think introducing the round to a bolt action first would have been
I would have loved to have a 338 Lapua Magnum bolt action, man. That'd be fucking amazing.
We're discussing Blackout, are we? Missed that bit. Blackout right now.
No, 338.
Talked about it.
Okay, watcha.
We could talk about that one now.
Well, Go was saying today, whether true or not, that the new Blackout is a single shot to chest kill.
No, that's a 338.
338. That's 338.
Yeah,
That gen is happening. One shot, you're dead.
Yeah,
even
50 cal, pretty much.
Yeah,
50
dude.
cal.
He's gone. And he's a DMR. It's insane. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a slick armor. You're wearing slick armor. You're full. You have whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You're dead if you get hit in the chest.
Just to play devil's advocate here, just like think about how many times you've run into a dude with an SVD with a red dot on, and he just like dumps 3 rounds into your chest. It'll pretty much be that meta all over again.
Pretty much.
But it's one shot though. One shot required to kill you in the chest, sent to mass. So it's easy to literally engage someone, clap, rather than go for the headshot or put multiple rounds on target. It's one shot to kill through chest. That's pretty. And it's 50 cal round nearly, so it's a very powerful round. So it makes sense to me why it's the case, but that's again, it's a game, and it might become the meta. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't seen any game yet myself.
That with a vector.
What?
So you can find like you can find the gun inside the raid, because I've never had it before. I don't know.
Yeah. You can find anything in the raid. You can
find wow, that's crazy, man.
It's just Jaeger 4, isn't it? I think Jaeger 4.
So Torkie, the ones you're looking for are those big green boxes. Those are the ones you want to hit.
Right. Okay.
Because the weapon has to fit technically unfolded inside of a case. So you're not going to find it in like stashes and shit. It's got to be a big case.
Big ones, gotcha.
So I've been told by my chat that the rounds themselves, the decent AP rounds, are only found in raid, and they come in bundles of 5 rounds. So it won't become meta because it's super rare, which is a good thing.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Market.
Yeah, so apparently 5 rounds at a time, which is, if that's the case, that's pretty good.
That's not too bad. Yeah, just
Ash 12 is pretty brutal, and so is 993 from an SA58. We're pretty much there, guys. I mean, I haven't built it yet, so I might change my mind, but
I mean, just to run some numbers, I've got the ammo chart up here at the moment. 338 is looking in order of damage to body. No, let's do the opposite way around. In order, from damage to body, highest to lowest. You got the TAC round, which does 196 damage per round with 18 pen. The next one is 142 with 32 pen. Then you've got 122 damage with 47 pen, which is fucking ridiculous. And then you got 115 damage AP with 79 pen. 79 penetration with 115 damage.
That's
all the rounds, the blackout, are they?
No, that's the 338.
Okay, sorry,
Easy collapse. The 300 blackouts essentially just like 5.56, but like meant for like CQB, right? Like that's what it was made for, if I'm not mistaken.
It's medium. When you guys were talking about medium tier ammo earlier, I was thinking of the 300 blackout because they're both very, 50, 40s in there. They're not super pen, they're not super flesh, but they have a very nice medium range. And I mean, it's not like 995 where you do no damage, but you kill their armor. It doesn't have that much bullet drop. It's nice. I like it a lot.
I mean, subsonic in it, 300 blackout.
I was gonna ask.
It's not the AP, I think. So the AP is still louder.
AP is 720.
995 or sorry, a 556 that is reduced in length. So it's just got less grain, so it travels
as much
forward and not as far.
Wait, neither of the 300 blackout rounds are subsonic, according to the chart. 720 and 605 meters per second. Both of them are supersonic, according to the chart that we've got here. So no wonder it doesn't drop because it's
updated in terms of MCX yet. You can't even find it. You have to like look deep in it. I don't think No Food by Midnight's completed it yet.
I
think this is just from the ammo itself, but yeah, I don't know.
Like I think for realsies, like I think police were having difficulties when they're doing like barricaded suspect stuff, and like they're going through and like running into issues where they were like shooting at dudes and like their rounds were going through the walls and like potentially like impacting near their partners. So they needed to come up with a round that was going to be able to like hit the perpetrator, but not go through him and then through the fucking wall. Like
exactly.
Hollow points exist too.
Yeah. So bashing along, boys. We're getting there. Basically, we're talking about hitboxes right now. So we got head ears, head eyes, head jaws. Basically, like, do you think that they need to be? I've been head eyes a bunch, like in the this past wipe and so far now. Like again, like that scav, that friggin' gun kata scav, just like bah, head eyes. Like out of nowhere. What do you guys think?
I haven't had a problem with the scavs, man. It's fucking PMCs that are pissing me off.
I mean the hitboxes. What do you think about the hitboxes?
I think about the hitboxes. Every freaking PMC has elephant ears that are like square feet of a hitbox. Even it cannot be that you face the scav and he has his buckshot and he hits you in the front, while visually on the player model all your face is covered, including the ears and the headset, and you get killed by head ears.
Yeah. Agreed.
This is off, but it's there. We got to deal with it. To be fair,
without the other hitboxes, I have no issue. But the head ears, it's pissing me off so much sometimes.
I mean, in game, when you're in combat or you see a player to your front, where do you aim for? If he hasn't seen you yet, where do you aim for?
Chest.
The chest? Do you really?
And then once he stops moving, I aim for the head.
Yeah. So I naturally have the head all the time. If I'm close quarter, thing is with the game now though, with the AD strat with no weapon deviation at all, the barrel staying level the entire time. That's why your head eyes lot in close quarter combat, I find, by other players, because they're not in a point firing, and it's easy to clap you in the head, and it's insta kill. The scavs doing it, I find quite often now, if I give an option to the scav the headshot, they're going to take it. Like if I peek over a ridge line, they can only see my head. Guess what's getting hit? My fucking head. Went prone phase to go on the game to a scav. The dumbest thing to do, never go prone to a scav, because the only thing they can shoot at is your head.
Yeah, that's crazy, because in real life, you're creating a smaller target. You're always trained to go prone. Smaller target, more stable fire position. Go prone, off you go. But in Tarkov, because your whole body is like through your head, they're like, even if they aim for your toe, they've got to get through your head to get there. So it's like, you get hit in the head. So
present your full body to a scav or nothing at all, basically.
Yeah, don't ever prone a scav. No, you're right. You're absolutely right, mate.
I fell for and training and natural marksmanship principles is to engage a target apart from close quarter, center of mass, because that's when you hit a target and rounds deviate anyway. Unless you're in close quarter combat training, two in the chest, one in the head, whatever, that makes sense. Which you're going to do that, and people in this game, they do it anyway naturally because they're ADSing the combat. It's so I really think they need to work on that and make the gun barrel fucking sway way more.
And so many of the times when you're engaging, especially at a medium range, your gun goes up as you shoot. So if you aim at like stomach, chest, there's a high chance that you'll get a headshot.
That's true.
Because you really don't feel horizontal recoil as much in this game. But for me, like I know you're supposed to aim for the head. I would love to. I'm just a shitter and I can't land headshots a lot. So I aim thorax, get them roughed up and then I can finish them off. You know what I'm saying? That's
I always go.
I like to lead them with full armor drill, really. I like to ruin it.
The AD spam is ridiculous. That needs sorting out.
To be sorted, because like there's so many times where like I've lost an engagement just because like a guy with like Gen 4 Alton, like a frigging couch on his back that's filled to the brim, is doing like I'm like, dude, no fucking way. You got 100 pounds of whatever the hell on your back. You're not moving nimbly bimbly like a cat from tree to tree. Get out of here with that.
And yeah, they can still hit perfect shots as well.
Even in shorts and t-shirt, you ain't doing that either. Trust me. Like,
I could do that. I could do that in shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got yourself. Anyone that's ever worn body armor for more than sort of 10 minutes, and I'm not talking about at a convention where you can sit down and drink a nice coffee. Anyone that's fucking had kit on and done stuff. Exactly, like you're breathing out your asshole. You're not like one of the problems with Tarkov as well. And I was thinking about this the other day. I sprinted over to gas station customs and I was started engaging. I think it was a scab boss or whatever was happening there at the time. And my PMC was like, because I just ran him about 100 meter sprint with like 30 kilograms on. And as soon as I ADS, I'm like, my guy's still like, but he's like.
Dead on.
Laser focus. Like there's no like, fuck me, I just ran. You know what I mean? So you get this like, people will hear a contact and then they'll be like, they get all the way over and then they just go.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like before the rework with the stamina. Like it used to be with one stamina. Like if you go sprinting and then you ADS, it used to be like that,
Yeah.
I seem to remember something like that. Yeah, but now it's literally you can be breathing out your ass.
Because it's arm stamina.
Oh yeah, now it's arm stamina. Yeah, because it's arm and legs now, isn't it?
Mm.
That was the change. That was the big change. So so apparently RPMCs have got separate sets of lungs. They've got one lung for the legs and one lung for the arms. And as long as the lung for the arms is okay, there you go. You can perfectly, like a fucking robot. That's a really good point, actually. And I'm glad
Bob's your uncle, as you say, right?
Bob's your uncle, yeah. Fanny's your aunt. Exactly.
I think Nikita added the reduction left-right strafing. I thought I was like, that sounds cool, but I can't tell if it's all. That's like a fix for not a fix.
Same with the sound reduction.
Do that. There's the thing is we got the Alt QE peak as well. I'm seeing a lot of players now Alt QEing on corners.
I hate that.
It is cheeky.
Yeah,
man.
because
you're in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
and you're behind a wall, and there's a dude 100 meters away moving, and you just go.
Yeah,
you fire the target in half a second. It's so stupid.
You're seeing clips now on certain YouTube channels where guys go, like, the fuck?
It's
you
so
don't even
stupid, bro.
It's like a quick scope, but it's a mechanic in the game that's allowing that, facilitating that combat to happen. Now, I agree, you can peek in real life. That's a thing, of course it is. And it's not like Rainbow Six Siege. That's not a thing, but let's not do that, please. Also, because you can't hit shit doing that, guys. You know you can't do that sort of thing.
Except for Russians.
Yeah, exactly. I love that's nice. You guys know Glorious, right? I love Glorious. He's such a nice guy, and he's always cool with me. And he's fucking mad at the game. Like, he's so good at FPSs and all that. But like, I don't want to shit talk Glorious when I say this, but I watch his clips sometimes, and there's one where he was on in dorms, second floor, 3-story, and he comes up main stairs, and there's a guy there, and he literally just goes, honestly 100% just goes like that, and then all he hears, and he's like, and it's just so it's Tarkov is a game. But at the same time, we've all been fed this Tarkov is a hardcore, realistic first, and there's nothing hardcore or realistic about like doing this sort of like, it's just, come on, bruh. It's not right, man.
Same for the fucking, I just want to say this really quick. Like, I understand canted mounts work when you're a professional shooter at a range, but no one uses it in combat. No one fucking does that shit.
Not as a primary, anyway. Not as a fucking primary.
The guy at the shooter, the 50-year-old guy that's on Instagram, he's the only guy doing it. That's it. In this game, why should people ADS quicker and stuff and have better stats and stuff? It's just so stupid to me.
It also wouldn't work long range at all.
It's such an unnatural fire position.
They block their fucking thorax. It's
because the way the weapons work is they have a parabolic arch, right? The bullet travels up and over from the top of when you're looking down sight. If you canted it, it's going to travel sideways, right? So it's literally going to miss after 20. So you have it 0 to 25 meters. That's it. After that, it's fucked. You're not going to be able to shoot that.
It works like, because there's targets right there, Gunvash, right? Yeah. Like, it's so stupid to me, man. And people do like,
people are doing like 100.
Tell us how you really feel, Atlas.
Fuck you.
Pepper mounts, dude. They get the AR pepper mounts. You know what I'm talking about? Like, where you could put the mount on the very top, but they don't actually have a scope. It's so silly.
Oh yeah. So they can see what they do. They go for the jailbreak, because the jailbreak basically makes it so you can't see when you're shooting. They just put a fucking 3-story riser on their weapon, so they just hold their weapon down here and just go. They're holding it right down by their feet and looking through the sight.
The other issue is with the canton sight is if you drop your gun, your PMC is putting both of his arms in front of his thorax. So that's sometimes the reason why you're having such a hard time killing a guy, because you black out first his arms and then his thorax, as if you go with the standard variant where you actually have a chance to hit the thorax. The nasty thing about this is also, depending on the angle that you have on your opponent, the canton sight also covers your head. Mm-hmm. So you have to go through the arms and then hit the head. And this is why the whole canton sight thing is so broken at the moment as well.
Didn't they correct that?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't know. I haven't seen it this way yet. So.
Yeah, it was a big thing. They put out a big patch about it. Now it was bugged where bullets wouldn't travel through limbs and hit things behind them. and then they patched it.
I mean, I saw that in the patch notes.
You don't see it as often.
I don't know if I've felt
anymore
it.
because it doesn't work great.
Yeah, they also said they reduced
bullets. So the parabolic, well, they did. I've noticed it immensely.
Reduced sound? Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. And also the candid sight. So the way that works when you're sighting, obviously you're not re-sighting accurately in the field, but the parabolic curve from the gun is so that's due to gravity from the earth. It's not anything else. So it wouldn't be sideways. It would behave exactly the same as if you had sighted on any other sight. The barrel is straight. You're turning it, looking down the sight, and you're, ostensibly sighted. You've adjusted this. It would perform the same way as a standard mounted sight. It wouldn't go sideways or anything like that. But yeah, they corrected the candid sight. Protect your thorax and head.
Okay.
Shit. That was a thing. They put the patch out. It was still a thing for about 5 days. You still see people doing it, but it's not very effective like it used to be. It used to be they could tank like 30 shots. It was dumb.
It's disgusting.
Yep.
I remember
Now,
losing engagements.
It's like 2 or 3 extra.
Glad they fixed it.
Yeah, I used to lose engagements.
Well, I
because,
needed it. It was awful.
He had the candid sight, and he was able to EDS faster because he was using a candid sight, and I was using an actual sight. So meta at the time. Okay, if you guys are good, we got 2 more things to cover. We got the task rework. What do you guys think about that?
I like it.
I love it because they're adding more and more tasks, so they need to make some of them a little thinner. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the dumbass kill 7 people.
Less shitty.
With a hatchet and no meds. Maybe break that up a little bit, and it's nice.
Yeah. I definitely agree that task being reworked to be a little more accessible and not weird definitely benefits everybody in the long run. Go ahead.
They've kind of also changed it as well. Like the starter tasks, you can no longer just buy the stuff. You have to find it in raid now as well. So they made some tasks easier, like Jaeger's ones, but made other ones harder. Like you need to find the LEDX and the Orthomoscopes in raid now. You can't just buy them off the flea market for the thick items case.
Mm-hmm. That'll definitely be that'll definitely slow some people down.
Yeah.
Talking about quests, I don't know about you guys. I did the stylish one at least once, and I'm never going to do that quest again because it's such a pain in the ass. 100 times killing that son of a gun, in my opinion, is just way too much. I spent it 3.5 weeks, 8 hours a day, doing freaking killer runs only.
Yeah,
that was literally the moment where Enchants could win.
Emotional.
I mean, one thing I will say about that fucking quest is that at least nothing's locked behind it.
Yeah.
As in...
Except for the coolest tracksuit in the game. You
Yeah,
can't
you
be
get
a real
the
gothic
whole
without that thing. You can't
Oh,
say
you get to wear a tracksuit.
You can't go around saying that without wearing that thing. Come on.
Yeah, you get a tracksuit, and to be honest, I think it's great. I will defend this, even though I hate some of these dumbass tasks that you have to do to get stuff or whatever. I will defend this and say those that do have the tracksuit, it kind of put the tracksuit up there, and it's you see a dude with a tracksuit, and you can think to yourself you know what, dude, respect. You killed Killer 100 times. I respect that. Do you know what I mean?
You've got way too much fucking time on your hands.
Yeah, that's true. I think reducing the requirements would be. I think it would kind of cheapen it in a way, and it's everyone's got the tracksuit now, but I don't know. Maybe implement kill Killer 50 times, and you get his socks or shoes or something.
I have an idea.
We need pants. We need pants.
We do need the pants, but hear me out. How about we do this? We tie the pants and the shirt and all that stuff. We increase the kill count to 300. Wait. 300 plus 300 kills. Let's make it to 300 kills.
500.
But wait. you make it 300 kills, and then you attach it to your account, and then it's bound to you from wipe day.
That's cool.
Yes.
And then you do the same thing with Rashala's jacket and Sturman's jacket.
Yes.
And then say, hey, look, that guy's been playing this game since whenever. And like, you know, it gives like the veterans of the game who've been around forever something to do.
Yep,
Okay,
I agree.
Even if
100%.
they don't attach it to the account, right? They could still keep the kills at 100, but introduce, like you said, Rashala, Sturman, Glukar, and then take some pressure off of just Killa, because you got nothing but Killa runners. He only spawns 35% of the time. But if you spread it to all the bosses, people are like, I want Sturman, you know, I want Glukar. And they could start rotating around and just take a ton of pressure off of Killa. Everybody wants them.
But then if you
Like you
increase
get tattoos, maybe.
But also, again, if you increase it to say, like, say, for example, this wipe, someone only manages to kill Killa 50 times. And they're like, oh, man, that super sucks. Like, I got to do the 100 tasks, the 100 kills all over again. Next time you go, it's like, hey, yeah, you still need to kill him 300 times, but you've killed him 50 times already. So, like, that's, like, further progression by the time you get to the next wipe, you know? Like, it could be, like, a long-term goal that you can achieve.
Yeah.
That some people are going to fast track and others are going to take a long time to get to.
They
Like, it should be. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Alex.
They keep the time played and stuff when they wipe accounts. Like they should be able to maintain the amount of times you've killed the boss too.
Yeah. That's it. You make it into like a not into a task, but more of an achievement tab or something. You know, like have something different where, let's say, if you kill Sturman 100 times or 500 times, you start like unlocking maybe tiers, or I don't know, maybe if you kill Sturman at 100 times, you get his jacket. Then at 200 times, like another extra 100, you get his pants, for example. You know, stuff like that. You know, like tiers, pretty much. And you just keep it forever. You know,
you're welcome.
Like, you just keep it forever. That'd be amazing, man. Hell yeah!
Yeah, it would be cool to have clothes.
Yeah.
It would be cool to have clothing follow like linked to your account sort of thing. Yeah.
So then a fresh wipe, you got the new guys with their just regular USEC and bare tops, and you're there wearing a goddamn tracksuit, and everyone's like, "Oh snap!" And then that makes someone new, if they head eyes you, be like, "Oh crap! I just killed the dude that's been playing this game for a really long time too." You know, that could be a thing as well. Just
yeah.
I've always thought that
100%.
clothes should be linked to the account because it's a cosmetic thing and it would reward people to, like, you know, fucking work hard on getting clothes and stuff like that maybe. But yeah, no, definitely.
And can we please BSG, can we please mix and match USEC and bear clothes, please?
And gloves, dude. I would like to change gloves. Some gloves are so good, and some of them are like so bad with like the tops, man. It's crazy. Like with the t-shirt, you know, with the bear t-shirt, he just has like this weird black gloves. It just doesn't make sense for me, man.
You're supposed to be staring.
Jacked up, dude. Man, it's it, dude. Just
staring at the wrong thing, Torkie. You're supposed to be staring at those arms. That's what that shirt's all about.
You're talking about mixing and matching. What if clothes were like not a consumable, but like armbands used to be? So like you find a scav, you can literally take Scav's clothes.
Jacket.
It's gonna turn into like, Rust when dudes with their peckers out.
Blend in.
It would be cool to like
body on the ground. You're like, oh shit! Like
as a naked dude.
Hey, man.
It would be cool.
I think it'd be interesting, man.
So anything else on the old tasks, or we got one last point, one big point. It's a big one. It's been like talked about since the inception of this game. It's been around for a very long time. Very hot topic in the sense that like a lot of people still aren't sure if it's gonna be a thing. I'm talking about open world.
Yes, I want. It's what made me buy this game.
We
I wanted an open world MMO RPG that's a good shooter. It's what made me buy it.
So not the Division then.
What I would love to see is that you have your, don't get me wrong there, you have your hideout, your stash, everything is like always existing. But instead of going into, or like make that a feature that you can unlock later on, the way that Tarkov would work is instead of going into a single raid, you would have a different list of server with worlds you could go in. So that basically would mean instead of going into Customs, you had one big map where Customs Factory, all the maps are connected to each other. And then you literally would walk around there. So that would mean you have your safe space, your hideout. Then you're going, let's say you're going to labs, you kill 20 raiders down there. You have a shit ton of loot. And then you had to grab that stuff, go back to your hideout. You're still in the same server, go back into labs, make your second haul. And having it arranged like that, dude, that would be absolutely insane.
The Keita said he's concerned how isn't that last podcast did. They broached the subject of like going to streets, for example. How's that going to work? There's 3 doors, I think, to get into not streets. Sorry, reserve, not reserve. Fucking hell, labs. You can go by factory, streets, another map. But how's it going to work? They have to hold servers to the side to allow people to jump from this one to this one, sort of thing. So I don't think Nikita knows how it's going to work yet.
Like migrating,
it's simple.
The transitioning,
action. Yeah.
The extraction system is so unique, though. It's such a unique game right now. If you make it open world, it's not really unique anymore. And I get it. It sounds great, but I think the actual implementation of it won't be as good as we think Tarkov is right now. But that's just the way I think about it.
This is how...
Is the Tarkov that we've got now pretty much arena anyway?
Yes.
So this would be the arena mode, and then we have the open world.
No, isn't the open world concept, didn't they clarify this? It's going to be like, so you're on customs, and there's, say, 2 extracts to your hideout, and then all the other extracts are to other connected maps. So, like, oh, I can't make it to the hideout, or it's camped. I'll go to reserve, and you load into a new raid on reserve, and it's got some safe room, safe house extracts, and then some other garbage to other maps you can go to. Just sort of like you have to go to streets to get to labs, like an extension of that.
Yeah.
I think that you do an hour raid to another hour raid if you have to, or you want to, or whatever.
I definitely think that would be really cool. And again, that could be, so the whole idea is to escape from Tarkov, right? So like basically that would be a trial run. And I basically wrote a script for this a little while ago. I haven't done it yet, but I want to make a video on this. I call it the Gauntlet. So you start on Shoreline. Again, 1 hour raid each. So you queue up just like labs. You can't ensure your gear. If you have like those like those bag drops or whatever with a marked beacon, then you can kind of like get proper to find your stuff or whatever. But this is how it'll go. Start up on Shoreline, go there, do what you got to do, extract customs. You go to customs, and then eventually you get to military checkpoint, go into reserve, another 1 hour raid, and then you extract on the train. And then if you die along the way, your gear is forfeit, it's gone. But if you get out, you need to bring in water, ammunition, food, etc. And then whatever you manage to get out with, like, there you go. Like, it's yours. That can be your trial run to escape from Tarkov, being like the end game is actually doing a full run through and escaping.
So like the guide, but all in one.
But for real,
like,
yeah,
thing.
all in one go.
Yeah. I mean, when we've spoken about story mode and what we know from Nikita and stuff, and all the little pieces of information we have, like story mode will be the first mode that everyone. So when you open Tarkov 1.0, welcome to Escape from Tarkov, blah blah blah. Choose your PMC. You will then be put into like story mode straight away. So free roam and arena should be like after story mode, right? So everyone finishes story mode, and that will be a case of going from one end of Tarkov to the other. I mean, it was always rumored that it would be streets first, like you'd start off on streets of Tarkov, and then you'd need to get to terminal and then leave via boat or whatever there is. And then you find out like all the mystery about Terror Group and all that other shit along the way. So that essentially would be like the introduction to the game. So that's like the start of the game, and then you've got like the free roam stuff and arena as for like player attention after that. And then I think, like you say, with like a super hardcore the guide challenge, which people have already done and stuff, but to have it implemented into the game, maybe even as a game mode or like something else, like I think that would be really cool, like to sort of as another challenge, as another way to like enjoy the game with player retention, that sort of thing. When we're talking about like the open world concept or like free roam at the very least, the way I can see it working is you would go from one map to another. You'd go to an extract, and then what it might say, we could have like let's imagine like a floating hideout or like a mobile hideout just for a moment. Or like you say, you could choose where to have it, and then you'd need to go back there whenever. But imagine like a floating hideout where you'd get to an extract and it would say, congratulations, you extracted. What do you want to do next? And you either click hideout or you click on a map that's next to it. So, for example, customs, you've got shoreline, interchange, factory. You could say, where would you like to go? And you have like a list of, you can either go back to the hideout or you can go to one of these other maps. So let's say, for example, you need to get to terminal or shoreline. You'd need to then go through customs and then go through woods to get to shoreline, or whatever. The whole concept of open world, like say for example like a GTA style map, I don't think that's ever going to be a thing. Like look how much trouble we have with customs and reserve and stuff like that at the moment with regards to like AI and the stress that it puts on our PCs and stuff like that, and all the networking. So I think it'll be more like instance based. I think it's like Stalker. I know a lot of you guys have probably played Stalker,
Dude,
but I think
I'm
Stalker
down.
worked in a similar concept where you'd go from like instance to instance, like as you go around. Please correct me if I'm wrong, as always. But
So that's the concept. The concept being is that you're trying to get, like, it's the opposite. In Stalker, you're trying to get to the center of the zone. You're trying to get to the nuclear power plant in Chernobyl. That's what you're trying to do. In this case, it'd be the opposite. We're trying to get out of the exclusion zone that is Tarkov, out of the militarized zone of that area, and try and get to safety. Just like the trials of trying to get, like, and that's how it works in Stalker, is that it's like, oh, I'm gonna go this route. Actually, this is a super irradiated forest. Can't go this way. We're gonna have to go this way now. It's not like a direct route, and that could be how. Honestly, it could be like generated by PMC. It's like for your final approach to escape from Tarkov, it could be like you would start on customs. Someone else could start, on reserve. And
that's
then,
cool.
And then that's it's like a random, and because like right now, like you'd be worried about people while you're doing your run. Like camping certain extracts or certain hideout duckouts, because you're like maybe like halfway through you're like, man, this is sketch. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through it, so I'm just gonna dip out and I'm going to go straight to my hideout and just say screw it on this run, And that's,
it would kind of create a natural. What are they called? What is like PUBG and shit? What are they called?
Battle Royales.
Battle Royale. Yeah, like create like a battle royale kind of. How, like you said, they all spawn in different areas and then we're all like passing through each other. Like it's kind of creates this natural battle royale. It's cool. I like it. But not like being lame like a battle royale.
Yeah, no.
There's poison walls coming around us.
This is why we have poison counter in game.
Okay, no.
We've
in our Discord data, there's some questions from guys in chats and stuff. I don't know if you want to ask all of them, but it's quite a long podcast so far.
Yeah,
if you guys want to, they have to. It's up to you guys.
We can take like maybe, what do you guys think? Like one or two questions, just because like we all go very in depth. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for, right?
We can also pull the rest of the questions for the next podcast.
That's just
maybe.
I think that's the best plan, because like this is a lot of good content right here. And I think that if we save that for the next podcast, episode 2 of the 4-1 Stream Team podcast, that'll work out pretty good.
And also, just while we're here, we should do like a dedicated channel in the Discord for questions wise for the next one. Yeah.
So right now it's currently in the hideout in general for 4-1. But if we have like podcast questions, we make another channel. That'd be cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So any more comments for open world?
I would answer at least some questions today. Not that many. At least some. Because it took time and they put them in there.
At least one question. Just one.
Okay. So let's
golden
see.
question.
Okay, so here we got one from Divine Goddess asking, should they increase the amount of players per map as the wipes go on? That would be good. So good, I think, would make for more PvP needed in later game. Thoughts?
I think that to get that sensation, you just kind of switch maps, but I don't know. Maybe they could be readjusted a little bit, but like if you want lots of players, you go to fucking streets. You know what I'm saying? If you want a few players, you go to factory. That kind of feeling. You know?
I was gonna say, let's see how streets plays out first.
Yeah.
40 PMCs.
What's the player count on streets? It's increased, isn't it?
40.
40?
Oh my
And
god.
now, from what I understand, it's also supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think it's supposed to be random spawn times too, right? It's not everyone's supposed to, like, you're not going to have 40 people instantaneously spawn in, right? It's supposed to be sporadic, like, okay, now we just dealt with a 3-man, we feel safe. Now here comes a fresh 5-man spawning in, you know? Like, maybe it's supposed to work like that. I don't know.
I think that would be, that's like the opposite of what I want.
I don't know, man. If like, what, you're going to try and 40-man the entire server?
Fuck yeah.
Someone fucking will, man.
Yeah.
First 40-man wipe on YouTube.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Happen. Yeah, make sure you hit that bell icon. No, when we, you know me, guys, I am a massive nerd for story, right? And I've read all the books cover to cover, man. And I'm telling you, there's no fucking instance once in the story of Tarkov where there's 40 PMCs in the same place. Like, it's not, 40 scavs, yeah, 40 cultists, yeah, but PMCs, like, it's just so strange, this concept to me, like having, like, it's not Battlefield where you've got two fucking armies fighting. Yeah. Like, the contract wars are over. The contract wars have finished. Like, that's out of the way. That we don't have big, force on force fighting. And I don't know how I feel, because this isn't going to be force on force. It's not going to be two 20-man teams. It's going to be loads of guys just fucking running around, trying to head over each
carnage.
Other. It's just going to be carnage. And
because that map is all multi-level, multi-verticality.
Yeah,
it's all CQB mostly.
Yep.
And sniping and roofs. It's going to be fucking carnage.
It's just going to be people sniping, and just sniping people trying to get their tasks.
On top,
I mean,
it's meant to be the biggest map
very
ever.
big.
So
yeah, well, huge. And think about how big goddamn Woods is now. Is it? Yep. And they're saying it's going to be bigger than that.
I hope so.
Way bigger.
It's like 3 times bigger.
Let me put it this way: if they can pull it off, it'll be awesome.
Bear in mind, Sharp, they've been teasing.
Can we have that many people? Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, can we have? Sometimes it gets a little chug-a-lug when you got 18 people and scavs and a boss. If they can pull it off, I want to see it,
dude.
Yeah,
that goes back to my settings. Let's see what streets can do first, and then if you can handle it, increase it on other maps.
What I would love to see is just maps that are so big where you hear shots across the map and being like, is it worth me running across an open field or down a friggin' open ass street to try and get there? Or do I focus on my task? Do I focus on getting to this spot? Dude, like, as opposed to right now, it's like, oh, cool, someone's ringing the dinner bell at dorms. Let's go, guys. It's like super easy for someone to just like, oh, they're go ahead and extract. They hear grenades at dorms, turn around there, and like a minute you're there, Whereas it's like, that'd take me 5 minutes of like running and stopping and doing that all over again. Like, what is the risk versus reward of doing that? I think if once we get big maps like that, like streets, it'll be a very good benchmark for that. That'll be pretty slick.
Yeah, I think the main thing that we need to think about when we're talking about PMC numbers, like player counts and stuff and size, is density. So Woods, like, how to put this really quickly and simply, like, imagine Woods has 10 PMCs that load in, okay? And then imagine Woods having 40 PMCs which load in. Like, the density is going to be really important with regards to streets. Like, if streets is indeed going to be like however many times the size of Woods, for example, like 40 PMCs probably sounds like a lot, because we're only used to maps the size of customs and shoreline and stuff like that. We haven't yet experienced something so big and vast as what there's, big in streets up to be. So I think it could really go either way, man. Like, obviously, Streets of Tarkov is supposed to be the main like the central hub of Tarkov. It's like the city, in it. So, you know, it really depends. It really depends. And like you say, like the size of it. If you hear shots from miles away, you're gonna think, it's probably not worth heading all the way over there. You know, you don't have to worry too much about. You know, if you run any map without a suppressor right now, you fire a couple of shots and then a minute later there's somebody on your position. Exactly, if that. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, and if it takes them 5 minutes to get there, you got 5 minutes to finish your fight, loot, and move, don't you? Or to set up and watch your back, that sort of thing. Like, I think you're exactly right. Density, and it adds more. I don't know if they can do it. 40 seems like a lot plus scavs, but I mean, if it's a big enough map, that could be nuts. Like, imagine the tension. You just have no idea.
Yeah.
It all depends as well on the all the buildings you see able to go in there. There's multi-stories in there. There's big buildings in there. Is the size of the map floor space, or is it actually the map itself, how big it is? Because Reserve's a massive map in regards to floor space, multi-level. Is that what they mean by a large map in streets, or is it literally a vast map as in width and length?
I think it's going to be both.
Because
both, man.
With sound as well as it is now, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be something.
It'll be really good. But sorry,
imagine killing people on the road. Like, you're not going to loot them. You can't loot them. As soon as you go out,
you can't clear every single.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, this map's been in development for over 3 years, so.
What you need is
Every
proper
window's
instantaneous
gonna have eyes.
smoke, white off smoke. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Need me one of them fucking helicopters to just come and just do like a little cargo thing from the top and just pick the body up. Pick the body up, like off you go. There you go.
Like a Metal Gear Solid. Attach a balloon to him. Drop down.
Yeah, fucking Fulton thing.
Yes.
That'd be so sick.
How would you guys feel about dragon bodies?
I would love
Supposed to be there.
Yes.
I would love that, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much.
Because I mean,
Human bodies, yeah.
Teammates.
Yeah.
So
or bodies
teammates or dead.
Okay,
or dead. Because right now, if I gotta loot somebody in like some shit position, and it's like I just shot some guy there, there's 30 angles on it, I'm not gonna spend an hour clearing them. I'll just strip naked, go grab all his shit, and run off. If I could drag it, you know what I mean? Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
So,
but
get it to a position.
If I could drag it, I mean, maybe it's like a quarter speed, but I'd feel a lot better about picking through his loot instead of just stripping naked, running out there and going, you know, YOLO swag. It doesn't matter if I die.
Inhaling everything he's got, just clicking everything. And it's like,
to touch on that,
it's like an 8-second procedure.
Yes. So to touch on that, I definitely think that that'd be pretty slick. Like 8 seconds, like, and then like you can't even like. So basically, if you're like dragging somebody, you have no weapon or anything. Like both your hands are occupied as you're like hauling this dude into wherever you need to, so you can grab his gear. Or same thing, like if. With like your friend's body, if you're trying to stash his body, tie him back into Dan with like all your gear needs to be on your body for insurance to work, you're gonna drag your dude's your friend into a friggin' bush even, but then again that could leave a blood trail. Anyways, getting there, getting way ahead of myself here. But what I'm trying to say is, not only are we getting to the point where like dragging bodies is a cool idea, but say you're in a 3-man, you go into dorms, one of your buddies gets shot in the arm and leg. Both blacked out. He's starting to bleed. It's going to take him a while to like patch himself up. If you go and heal him, the process is faster, but both your hands are in use. He can only maybe like look around a little bit. He can't move. He can like aim his gun, but he can't move. And then the third person is going to be the guy providing all that cover. So that could be a cool way of like doing like CMS on like your on like your fire team partner or whatever, man. Like that'd be pretty. That could be a cool way of like introducing, you know, team healing, and then that's another way to level up like your medicine.
Medical support. I think it'd be a better, like a new one.
And then that gives someone a reason to take that goddamn medical bag into a fucking raid.
Well, and it moves into like squad support, specific roles, and you can have like that guy on your team. You know, you have different roles, and it incentivizes team-based gameplay, which we know they are extremely interested in doing.
Yeah, they want to do that. They keep saying teams, but then, you know.
and then make people who can't shoot feel better because then they have a role.
I'm doing my part.
I'll be the medic. I'm helping.
I mean, we all know how it went when I was the medic for Hell Let Loose. So just stabbing people in the helmet with their friggin' morphine.
It was good. It was a good time.
Fantastic.
Talking about Body Dragon really, really quickly. Raid episode 1, the live action series. We see one of the bears drag another bear, right? And he uses like a fucking cargo
carabiner.
Yeah. He just hooks onto his mate, sticks the thing onto his back, and he just walks. He just power walks like forward while his mate's like kicking his legs trying to get out of there. Like he just clips on and he just walks like.
Just drags
so
him.
we've already seen that like concept in the Raid episode 1. We also saw an RPG, but we're not going to talk about that for now. But yeah, so Dragon Bodies as a concept already exists in Tarkov. So I definitely think that they're interested in making that a thing. Like
I'd say it'd be good.
We've all been in that situation where it's like, oh, I just killed a guy, but he's in a shit place. Imagine if I could just grab him and move him. So yeah.
Well, and imagine this: your teammate gets shot, you clip on, and you're dragging him. You're tied up, like you're not shooting. He's just wounded. He's not dead. You're dragging him off to heal him or to move him to a better position while your other teammate covers. He he's not doing it accurate, but he can just hose down that hallway. Just
like Army of Two. Army of Two when you're dragging your mate, and he's just like,
yeah. So he's not hitting anything, but you're not gonna.
So sick.
My troll brain is going right now, and all I'm thinking about is cultists and PMCs and scavs that have fallen to them. Getting strung up like in Predator, like in the Predator movies, man. And then if you want to cut them down, and they're upside down if you want, and if you want to crawl up there and find a way to get up there and drop the body so you can actually loot it.
The knives, though.
Yeah,
cut the rope.
Like the cultists hang dudes up, man. Like that'd be dope.
While they're still alive, too. While they're still alive,
that would be crazy.
And VoIP, you would just hear help, help.
Yeah.
They're killing me.
Help.
Jesus.
I'm stuck. Like
I'm just going on a breakaway here, but I think it'd be pretty slick.
That would be funny as a concept.
Amazing. Yeah, this one question, Jesus.
That's why I said we should take only one question.
One question, guys.
We just keep on going.
We did it though.
I think that's good. I think one's good, and keep that ones to next time. We'll chat obviously after stream, but I think it's been really good. It's flown by. That was 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Well, it started half an hour late.
So. Usually about like 3 hours. It's actually 3 hours of content right now.
Yeah, that's good though. I enjoyed it. It was really good, man. Hopefully the guys did as well.
I enjoyed it.
It was amazing.
I enjoyed it.
It was all right. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It sucked.
Oh man.
So when is the meeting about the FAO calendar?
Oh yeah.
I've been.
Never took me serious on that, dude.
Who am I fighting for being the cover guy?
No
one. That's right.
You can have it.
Probably Sharptooth.
I call on
Actually, yeah, I might lose. I got those some wicked ass horns. Gotta say. It's pretty swole, man. He's pretty swole.
Yeah, that chest, man. It's ripped.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You do
Shoulders
freaking laundry
and
on that
everything.
thing.
Fucking
Awesome.
Nice. There you go. There's your stream item, Sharptooth. Your headset that you've got on your.
No, it's gonna be a cigarette.
butt cheeks. Gotta be the butt cheeks, man.
The cigarette.
Ass
Yeah, that would be so
implants.
sick, actually. Ass implants. What are they for?
Ass implants.
Yeah.
They make your PMC thick.
There you
For a
go.
bigger prison wallet.
Does it change the hitbox though? or
And
what?
they clap.
Yeah,
What are they called?
they clap.
They clap
Ass
as you run around.
implants.
They clap as
They
you
are not called.
every
heavier,
step.
the heavier you are, and the faster you're running, the more they.
That's it. You tell them, baby.
That's actually jokes, man. I like that idea. I'm gonna text it to Nikita tonight when I'm in
Nice.
Get it.
Oh, speed up.
Get it in.
bed. Yeah, speed up. Cool, man. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
No, it's awesome. I'm
I
gonna.
would say
go
before everybody ends, I have like 1,000 people watching. So if anybody just wants to feel free to introduce himself or promote himself a little, go for it, guys.
May as well
I'll do it as a team here. So obviously we are the FAO stream team. Fantastic group of content creators here. Most of the guys are here now. A couple of guys are missing.
Yes.
I believe I'm right in saying this. Everyone here is a fucking amazing content creator. I try myself. I bet people than me to make me look better normally, which is obviously these guys here. So give them a chance, really good dudes. I will be happy to do more of these events, more podcasts if these guys want to. We'll discuss offline. And obviously got Mr. DanExert, Torkie, Tachales, Sharptooth, Atlas, all quality full-time content creators, and the rest of us guys are part-time, aren't we? And doing our thing as well, loving what we're doing. So feel free to say what you want to say, guys. But I thought I'd just chip in there at the start and say what's up.
Well, first of all, welcome, Swamp Fox.
Indeed,
Yes.
Swamp Fox, yeah. Long time coming, man.
I did see him raid Tack before. I don't know if he's still there, but welcome. Welcome to the team, buddy.
Can't believe you guys let him in.
Yeah.
I was the one guy that said no, Swamp.
Just wanted to know. I will ask a question. Is anyone going to be live for an hour plus after this?
I think Tachales is going to be on for an hour plus, Dan.
Yeah,
It might be Dan.
Maybe another 12 hours.
It's not like I'm doing a 24-hour stream.
He is, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Sounds
Nice.
good.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm going to shut myself now, but it's been fucking awesome. Tachales, good luck, dude, in the full 24 hours, guys. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Laters.
And don't forget to follow everyone in the team.
Peace, my friend. Was great.
Bye, guys.
Much love. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching,
Peace,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.